Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. This is the Counting Nightmare. Leaving the music going for the moment because it's really good. Can you blame me? Welcome Tag, welcome Azraya, welcome Scurvy. Hope you're all doing well at the moment. Good to see you all. Alright, we started case 5 of Ace Attorney investigations yesterday. Oops, sorry I bumped the mic. I get my status. So we'll continue that today. Right, let's do a quick rundown of my upcoming stream plans before we get started, especially for those people on YouTube who can't see my Twitch info, and for those people on mobile who might not be able to see it. Yeah, so the games we're currently working on are Ace Attorney Investigations and Super Mario Kart. We're nearly done with Ace Attorney Investigations. We're on the final case. And Super Mario Kart, I'm going to focus more on that once we're done with this because I think I just need to get better at that game. I just need to get better at the mechanics and the tracks. So I'll focus on that a lot once we're done with this one. And then after that, we're going to play Banjo-Kazooie, because I want to play Banjo-Kazooie, because I just want to. I just feel like it. And then I'll probably move on to Zelda Skyward Sword, because I've been wanting to continue my Zelda playthrough. Yes, those are our upcoming stream games. Banjo-Kazooie and Skyward Sword. Okay. Are y'all feeling a bit better at the moment? I'm glad to hear that, Scurvy Kip. I'm glad your Mega SD arrived, Azraya. That's cool. I forgot they released a version of Banjo-Kazooie on the 360. Is it any good? I could try digging out my 360 and see if it still works. My 360, it hasn't red ringed yet, so I'm expecting it to red ring as soon as I turn it on. But yeah, I don't have an Xbox One to get access to that version, the Rare Replay version, sadly. Alright. I'll look into the 360 version. It saves the notes you collected. Yeah, that's a really good change for the original Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah, that's the downside with Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie. I don't have access to the redone versions of them, except on the 360, but I don't know if I trust my 360. Also, I don't know if I have a working controller for the 360 at the moment, actually. I don't know, I'll look into it. Alright. I shall look into that. I've kind of just been hoping they were going to put Rare Replay on the PC, but honestly I would be surprised if they did, because it's so much work to port that many games. I can hope though, can't I? Okay. Continue. Right. So we started Turnabout Ablaze last time, the final case. Let's do a little rundown of the facts before we get going. March 14, 7:44 PM, Theatrum Neutralis, lobby. Ah, good. We can look at the organiser. Okay, so this case is set after all the other ones, after the crazy couple days Edgeworth has had. And all those crazy days are still going on. Okay, so the fake Yatagarasu sent a calling card to these embassies. What were the names of the embassies again? Hang on. Alabast and Babal. So these two countries used to be the country of Cadopia, I think it was called. Cadopia split into two countries recently, and so that's why they're both here in the same embassy. And the Yatagarasu showed up, and Edgeworth and Kay went there to try and catch the fake Yatagarasu and investigate. Things have gone bad though. We found a dead body, and now Kay Faraday has been accused of the murder, because someone always gets accused of it who shouldn't be. The dead person is Manny Cochin, who was the guy who was the suspect in the old KG8 incident from the previous case. He got found not guilty for that, and now he's been murdered. So not sure who would have killed him or why. Also, it seems like he might have actually been the leader of the smuggling ring this whole time. The smuggling ring we've been hearing about the whole game. Yes. Yeah. Also, we got the Still Samurai's autograph. That's the most important thing. Ah. And we found the Yatagarasu's key in his pocket. The one that, what's her name, Callisto Yu stole 7 years ago. Don't know why she left it there. Yeah, there's a lot of questions we have to answer here. Or Switch. Yeah, it would be cool if they put those games on Switch as well. The Banjo games, that'd be awesome. Especially to like promote Banjo being in Smash. Edgy's prize, the autograph. Yep. We got the most important thing, the autograph. There we go. Yeah, it's Lang. Also, we're technically working for Francisca because she's working with Interpol, and so this embassy is Interpol jurisdiction, and so we had to beg to work for her to be able to work on this case. Count off. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Shifu, 99 callouts. So all 99 members are most likely here and accounted for, sir. Oh, you counted 199 times. Oh my god. Hey, you. Yeah, you. The second number 1 from my right. Sir. Yes, sir? Here. A birthday present for you. What? Shifu, I didn't know that you knew all of our birthdays. What a kind heart you have. Shifu, you are more of a man than we'll ever be, sir. I'm really sorry, but it's not my birthday. Lang Zi says, a cub who disrespects others soon feels the disciplinary bite of an elder. That present isn't for you. It's for your younger brother's wife's younger brother. What? Tell him I said hi and happy birthday, won't you? Yes, sir. Shifu, I can't believe you remember that much about each of us. Shifu, I'm so moved that I can't stop crying. What? I should probably leave them to their alone time. Alright, meeting's over. Everyone, head for your posts. Dismissed. Sir. Former roommate. I'm your brother's second cousin's former roommate. I can't remember that whole line from Spaceballs. That was a funny line though. Yo, were you guys there the whole time? I got a call from Sheena, and she's already filled me in. It sounds like you're out to get in my way again. I have absolutely no intention of interrupting your investigation. I simply request that you grant me permission to investigate the Alabastian embassy. Huh. And what if I say no? Agent Lang, this man is my subordinate. As I have received permission from the ambassador, he is to be extended the same rights. Sorry, sis, but it's not that simple. Alabast has the strictest immigration regulations in the world, or didn't you know? Even among my elite men, about only half of them were admitted into the country. Besides, any more cooks in the kitchen and we might spoil the soup, if you get what I mean. How dare you make such assumptions? Don't take this the wrong way, but I thought I was in charge of Alabast, Miss Von Karma. Grr. Look, try to understand, okay? Things over in Alabast are a bit of a mess right now. What do you mean by a bit of a mess? No one told you. We had an incident in Alabast as well. This is what we call a decision, based on the investigation, Mr. Prosecutor. Look, Wolfie, just let us in already. Not sure who this is going to be. That sounds good, Tag. A bit of off-stream leveling up. That sounds like fun, actually. Is there a problem here, Agent Lang? Ah, is this the ambassador? Not really. Just having a discussion about whether or not to let these guys in. Ambassador Alba, I ask that you please allow these people to join the investigation. Having a debate because of my country. I'm terribly sorry for placing you good people in that kind of situation. It is all because I lack the strength to govern well. Please, it is nothing of the sort, Ambassador. You weakling, Quercus! Curse your frailty and inability to effect change in your country. What are you? The thing is, investigations conducted in my country have been under Agent Lang, and it is my judgment that in order to minimize disruption in the investigation, I should leave everything up to Agent Lang. There, you see? Oh, no way! No. Ambassador Alba, I ask you to please reconsider letting them into Alabast. What's that? My very own secretary has been murdered in the Babylese embassy. And he was apparently caught up in some very shady dealings, completely unbeknownst to me. So I ask for your cooperation in our investigation. These aren't much, but I hope they can cover your travel expenses to Babel someday. Alright, I get it. Even if you beg Ambassador Alba, I still have to give the final okay anyway. Alright, you hear that, Mr. Edgeworth? We're in! Not so fast, my little crow girl. You're still a witness in the Babao murder. So I'd like you to please stay in the Republic of Babao. Detective Gumshoe, please take good care of Kay for me. Yes, sir! Sounds good to me. The fewer troublemakers, the better. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? So I wanted to ask for a while now, but... that lady over there, is she who I think she is? Ah, that's right. I didn't introduce the two of you yet. Franziska von Karma, the prosecutorial prodigy. It's nice to see you again. Oh, I knew it! You're the whip lady! You may address me as Miss von Karma. Miss von Karma, I'll leave the investigation of Alabast in your hands. Thanks. Rest assured, I will outsmart both the smuggling ring and the Yatagarasu. The smuggling ring, huh? Perhaps I should ask Franziska a bit more about them before I head into Alabast. Ah, and I mustn't forget to thank Ambassador Peleno for all that he has done for me. Hey, King Brody, welcome. That's understandable, Ezraya. You just got the Mega SD, so you probably want to test it out and stuff. Let's have a look around first, see if we've got any new dialogue. The national flag of the Kingdom of Alabast is on display here. The crest on it features a flower. The knife with the flower design on it that we found in the Babylese embassy. It would appear that it is definitely connected to the Kingdom of Alabast. Here, talk. You have been granted permission to enter by Ambassador Alba. Please feel free to enter the Flower Nation, the Kingdom of Alabast. The Flower Nation, you say? Well, the garden certainly lives up to that name. Yes, it does. Our rose garden, which is in full bloom right now, is really something else. Oh, if only it wasn't. I could enjoy myself a bit more then. Doesn't like pollen, I guess? Sinus issues? These flowers are a gift from the Gatewater Imperial Hotel. It appears that their business has boomed since they became a Steel Samurai sponsor. I can see the courtyard and the Alabastian embassy through this window, but this side is under the same dire straits as the Babylese side. An incident has occurred on both sides of this one building. Why must fate make everything in my life so full of complexities? The Steel Samurai and German Ninja stage shows were held just beyond these doors. After the Gem and Ninjas show ended, we came out here, and were greeted with a fire. Then the appearance of the Yatagarasu and a murder. We're far from solving anything yet. There is a flat panel, a VCR, and a row of Steel Samurai videos on this table. There might be a clue among these. I'd better check the titles of these videos. My, the things I put myself through for the sake of the investigation. Yeah, looking at Steel Samurai videos. Real tough. These flowers are a gift from Global Studios. They seem to be prospering quite a bit, thanks to their constant stream of hit shows. The Babyliss embassy is just outside this window. The burn marks on it look pretty bad. It's a shame that they are in the middle of renovations. The fire did little to help there. And behind me, Ambassador Poleno's dry smile hides the tears in his eyes. Aw. May I ask you to please move out of the way? I'm sorry, sir, but we are currently clearing the area beyond of fallen, burnt brush. I ask for your patience until we are done. Very well. Oh, and I hope the brush clearing goes smoothly. The national flag of the Republic of Babao is on display here. The crest on it features a butterfly, the Babyliss embassy, which sits to the right of the theatre, and the Alabastian embassy, which sits to the left. Something has happened in each of the two embassies. I sense that unconventional methods will be required to solve both of these mysteries. Detective Gumshoe, I'm counting on you to keep Kay safe. Yes, sir. You just leave everything to me, sir. And don't worry, I'll take good care of Gummy for you. We'll go investigate into the Babao side of things together. Right, Kay? That's right, Gummy. All they're missing is the last stooge. Kay, I'm glad you were not hurt, but please refrain from such recklessness, alright? What if you had run into the Yatagarasu? You could have been killed. Sorry to make you worry like that. I'll be more careful from now on. Good girl. It's good to conduct some self-reflection every once in a while. It's funny, you know? When I talk with you, Mr. Edgeworth, it's like I'm talking with my father. Is that so? Do I really seem that old to her? Save. Alright, let's talk to the ambassador first. Ambassador Poleno, I am in your debt. No, it's nothing. Because it's about all I can do for you, I'm afraid. I only ask that you please bring Manny's killer to justice. I will, Ambassador, on my honor. Wow, you're so sensational. You've really piqued my curiosity. I know they aren't much, but know that I'm giving them to you wholeheartedly. No, that's quite all right. Oh, well, how about this then? And what exactly is it? It's fountain pen ink. Known as Babyliss ink, it's made exclusively in Babao. So this is Babyliss ink. We make it from wit crystal oil, which is mined through our mineral mines. Please accept this ink. One dip of your fountain pen in this, and you can write for hours in your organizer. How fortunate for me, the ink in my pen just happened to have run out. I gladly accept your gracious gift. Alright, so they're the ones that make the ink, and the other place is the one that makes the paper, right? Great! Wonderful! This guy's way too happy. He's gotta be hiding all kinds of stuff. I guarantee to you that writing with our ink is an unforgettable experience. And since we don't export it, if you run out, you're always welcome to come and visit our fair nation. Talk about cornering the customer along with the market. Wow, we just got suckered, I think. All the same dialogue. Can't even show him my badge. What kind of world is it where you can't even show your badge to people? Bum, bum, bum. You've made so much progress in your investigation in such a short period of time. It's truly amazing. Agent Hicks, whose help I had requested, was cut down before he completed his task. There is no room for further failure in my perfect investigation. In spite of that, I believe you were able to obtain some insight into the ring, correct? It was nothing. I simply made some deductions based on the smuggled item I was following. You mean the Babyliss ink? But why are there restrictions on the export of Babyliss ink to begin with? That's classified Interpol info... Francisca, as your subordinate, I'm a part of your investigation now. Don't you think it would be beneficial if I was as well informed as you? Point taken. Very well, I'll fill you in. Recently, we discovered some very well-made counterfeit bills circulating in Zengfar. Counterfeit bills? Yes, as you may have deduced. The counterfeits are being made with Babao's special Babyliss ink. And it's virtually impossible to distinguish bills made with Babyliss ink from real ones. Interesting. Thus, it was only natural for Interpol to keep an eye on the Republic of Babao. Okay. That's where this document comes into play, correct? Correct. Mr. Cochin was smuggling large amounts of Babyliss ink. Furthermore, he was charged with running the embassy's printing equipment. That's all the evidence I need to know that he was the head of the smuggling ring. However, there remains one tiny problem. Let me guess, you still have yet to find the counterfeit bills or the smuggled ink? Yes, and while we're listing things, I might as well add the counterfeit plates to the pile. Since we haven't been able to locate any of these items in the Babyliss embassy, we're looking into the Alabastian embassy next. It doesn't matter where they're hidden. Mark my words, I will find them. Okay. Well, shall we get going? What's wrong, Kay? I didn't get permission to enter Alabast. So we're going to go gather whatever info we can over on the Babyliss side, okay? Alright, I'm counting on you two. Right, and I'm counting on you and Miss Von Karma to sniff out clues in Alabast. Oh, and Mr. Edgeworth? If you happen to come across my phony, you let me know, okay? If you tell me, I'll rush on over straight away, no matter where you are. I'll let you know when the time comes. But you're not allowed in the country, so that could be an issue. Nice, that sounds like fun tag. I don't know if I've seen gameplay of Sonic CD. Is it any good? March 14, 8:17 PM. Alabastian Embassy, Ambassador's Office. What? What do you think you're doing to my subordinate? You're... Oh god. No. No. And thus Edgeworth's dreams were shattered. Edgy, oh thank the heavens you're here. I'm in a really, really big pickle, your lordship. The raven, it appeared, poof, and then disappeared, swoosh. And though I am the still samurai, my sword, it... I'm so confused. I don't know what anything means anymore. Who is this fruitcake? I'm Larry of the House of Butts, married man of near old Tokyo, milady. Now I remember. This person is one of your friends, isn't he, Miles? Yes, frighteningly enough, he is. Hey, what's up with that answer? Bloody Larry. Oh. Your best bud is in a bind, and you act like it's no big deal. What sort of bind are we talking about here? The suspect kind. Oh no. Oh. The buds. Yeah, I have been enjoying watching FF12 tag. Yeah, it looks like a fun game to just like chill out and do side quests and side stuff in. Yeah. I accidentally became a suspect in a murder! Well, someone was murdered here too. Huh. I see. That is quite the bind. Not that we're in the least bit surprised. Yes, I pretty much expected this news. From the instant I saw this unlucky face. His name is Larry Butts. I've known him since grade school, and for as long as I've known him, he has been the world's largest source of trouble with a capital T. Hey, what kind of introduction is that? You're so mean, Edgy. If you're not careful, you might find your tiny number of friends go down by one. That was uncalled for. Besides, you're... Wait, hold on. Larry! It was you? You're the one who wrote my Still Samurai autograph? Burn it! Burn it! Huh? Oh, you didn't notice earlier? I even winked at you through my headpiece. What's going on? And why are you beet red? Sorry, but could you not speak to me right now? Oh, sorry. Am I interrupting your comical yet melodramatic play? Ha! So this is the incident you mentioned earlier. Mr. Prosecutor, this man, this childhood friend of yours, is our prime suspect. Of what, you ask? Of the murder of a man who had snuck into this embassy. Master Mask 2. What? Master Mask 2? I didn't expect to hear that name again. Poor Edgy's dreams are shattered. Yeah. Edgy's day is ruined. Ruined. Master Mask 2? Only Larry could get himself into yet another mess as fine as this. But no matter what the facts seem to say, Larry is not the type to commit murder. Still, it's a rather daunting stroke of misfortune I've struck. I have to prove that Larry Butts is innocent of all wrongdoing. Well, not all wrongdoing. Shifu, we've identified the victim. Good work. I'll take that report now. Agent Lang, would you mind if I took a peek at it as well? What did I tell you earlier, Mr. Prosecutor? Don't get in my way. There's only enough flesh here to feed one wolf, and that one is me. So no, you may not take a peek. But Agent Lang... Oh, nice. I was hoping we'd see him again. Agent Lang, will you allow an investigator such as myself to take a look? Ah, yes, of course. You, let the detective see the file. You're Detective Bad. You're the prosecutor, Mr. Edgeworth, right? Fancy meeting you here, Detective. You weren't expecting me? Ever since that day 7 years ago, I've chased after the Yatagarasu, non-stop. He looks exactly the same. He didn't age either. I even pressured Interpol into keeping me in the loop, in case a card was ever found. What incredible dedication to the case. Detective Bad knows the Yatagarasu's MO very well, and his passion for the chase hasn't died down in these 7 long years. It's something I can respect. But Detective Bad, I must ask, are you going to make an ally out of this prosecutor? He still chews on lollipops. My only goal is to arrest the Yatagarasu. If he can get to the bottom of this case, then I'm willing to share info with him. I am in your debt, Detective Bad. Jigger my bad. Detective Bad, I'm wondering if you might be able to tell me something about this. Sorry, but I don't give a hoot about things that aren't related to the Yatagarasu. Heh, it looks like nothing about you has changed in these 7 years, huh? Daughter of Von Karma. You're still just a sapling of a prosecutor, so... I'll have you know that I've already grown into a stately tree of a prosecutor. Heh, is that right? Is he just toying with Francisca? He seems to be enjoying this quite a bit. Yeah, what can we show him? Let's show him the key. Detective Bad, this is something you absolutely need to see. What is that doing here? I've been looking for that for 7 long years. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine this turn of events. Without a doubt, this means that she is involved. That you, woman. Let's check out our new bits of evidence. Babyliss ink. Special wit crystal oil-based ink. Limited export because of its use in counterfeiting. Counterfeit bills made with Babyliss ink. They are in circulation in Zengfar. It's hard to tell they're fake. Okay. About the murder of Damask II, would you be willing to fill me in on a few of the details? When the Yatagarasu showed up, Agent Lang and I took ourselves off guard duty and put ourselves in charge of directing things at this crime scene. Taking advantage of the chaos, Damask II, he broke into this embassy. Probably to steal some treasure or another. And I suppose he lost his life when he was forced to fight someone else in this room. Why exactly was that man placed under arrest, Detective? That samurai? He was born looking suspicious, but not for the reasons you suspect, I assure you. As you can plainly see, he is completely harmless. Well, it was just a random guess. It's not like he's actually under arrest. Tonight, here at the Alabastian Embassy, Ambassador Alba was to give a commemorative speech. And that's when the Yatagarasu showed. But keep in mind, the Yatagarasu isn't who I'm talking about right now. Those seats, for the guests who had been called to sit in them, were empty. A no-show? Who was it that failed to take their seat? The Steel Samurai. Until the speech was to begin, each member of the entire Steel Samurai family was to wait in a separate room. However, for some weird reason, that man was spotted in a different location than his assigned room at that time. And where was he? He was on the roof, with one of his legs down a chimney. What the hell was Larry doing this time? That chimney leads directly into this room. Urgh. Larry Butts, you've really outdone yourself this time. What were you thinking? In any case, I believe it's high time for me to start my investigation. Bum bum bum. Bloody Larry, oh my god. He really is everywhere, isn't he? Ambassador's office. Talk. know if there's anything else to show him. Any coaching? I wonder if you might take a look at this, Detective Bad. Yeah, I heard. Coachin's dead. What a waste. He's staring at his mirror with his eyes unfocused and his jaw clenched tight. Interesting. Detective Bad, I'm wondering if you might be able to tell me something about this. Oh yeah, seen this dialogue? Edgy's doing an internal facepalm right now. Yeah. Oh. Let's talk to Franny. Yes? I've only just arrived in this room myself, which is why we need to investigate some more. Yes, I agree. Our priority should be on understanding what the current situation is. Of course. I was planning to do that from the very beginning. In that case, hurry up and start the investigation already. I will, so let's get started. In order to find out the truth behind what happened here, I should start by gathering as much information as I can. Master Mask. I see that yet another weirdo has popped up in my absence. Yes, and as I understand it, he was a brilliant thief to whom the world was his oyster. He stole extremely valuable objects one after another for a while. Detective Gumshoe was in charge of the case, and not once did he catch Damask. I had already researched all that, you know. Last year, when Damask gave himself up and was finally arrested, he was apparently represented by that man. Knowing him, I'm almost curious as to how insane that trial turned out to be. Indeed. But why would anyone want to kill Damask? I should really find out some more about the victim. Love how he mentions that man and Francisca immediately knows who he's talking about. What exactly is that hideous fashion... how do you pronounce that? Fauxpas? Fauxpas of a costume he's wearing supposed to be. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. But there's something different about it than what I remember. That costume is from the very first Steel Samurai. It's a live-action superheroes show on television, beloved by children and adults alike. The Steel Samurai's weapon is the Samurai Spear, and it is with the Samurai Spear that he performs his special attacks, which enthrall all who watch them in action. You seem to know quite a bit. Not at all. In any case, Francisca, I believe that the samurai you are familiar with is the second one. The Nickel Samurai, which was part of that case last year. Do you recall that case? Yes, I remember. Although I'd much rather it stay buried in the depths of my mind. Not that I blame her. She was shot during the course of that trial. I fear she may still be suffering great trauma over the shooting. Anyway, that aside, it looks like the Steel Samurai is a suspect this time. Yes, although that's because of who is inside the costume, rather than the character. That's right. If he is the Steel Samurai... Miles Edgeworth, have you been in shock over something this whole time? No, I'm not in shock over anything. I wanted to forget that I had received the Steel Samurai autograph from Larry. But the autograph... the drawing of the Samurai Spear, and the caricature of his face. Why did he waste so much time on the most useless parts of the autograph? Hey Edgy, did you say something? No, I did not say anything. Faux pas. Thanks King Bronick. How many times is the Steel Samurai going to be implicated in a crime? Yeah. It's a different person every time too. Which is hilarious. Bam, 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 bam. Who to talk to? Let's talk to Lang. You did some investigating over in the Babalese embassy too, right? I did. Is there a problem? Lang Z says, a wolf who aims to hunt for 2 rabbits at once. I believe the idiom you require is, he who runs after two hares will catch neither. Ha! A real wolf can catch both. I see. So, what are you trying to say, seeing as how I am currently handling two cases? Ha! Suit yourself. But don't say I didn't warn you. No matter how hard you try, you'll never be a necessity in our Shifu's investigation. Is that a fact? But no matter how good he is bound to overlook something. If you insult our Shifu, then prepare to be punished. Oh, and how exactly would you punish us? Every investigator under Shifu's command will work to disrupt your investigation. Vindictive much? Very good. And let's talk to Larry. Larry, there are a few things I need to ask you about. Hey, how about that? I've got a few things I've got to ask you too. What is it? It's like, both you and him. How is it that the two of you always manage to have some cute or hot girl by your side? And Francie, what about that promise you made to me? Promise? What promise? The one where you said you would model for my next book, Francie's Whippity Whip Trip. Meow! I made no such promise. Ever since grade school, we've had a certain saying about Larry. When something smells, it's usually the butts. One needs to look no further than this man to find the king of troublemakers. Check out my bang. Larry, I wonder if you might know what this is. Nope, not a clue. You didn't even look at it. Nah, that's because the only thing I can see right now is the form of my lovely Francie. Oh, in that case, allow me to help you sear my form into you for all eternity. Whippity whip trip. Now this is a trip I'm willing to endorse, especially if we can finally get some peace here. Very good. Oh hey, it's the Steel Samurai. I want you to answer this for me, Larry, and depending on the answer, I may let you live. The Steel Samurai that was up there on that stage, was that really you? Yep, sure was. Larry! You! Steel Samurai, sushi slice. I was moved by the performance of this man. This completely useless, worthless bum. I fear I may never recover from this. Wow. Welcome, Mr. Fahrenheit. Sorry I didn't say hello to you before. I answered your statement, but I didn't say hello to you. You can see how much Manfred's influence still dogs them, for how much they both try and hide what they when they want or like something. Yeah, that's true. They're both so reserved. Check out this statue. Oh, okay. He's gonna get whipped again. He deserves it. What might he actually answer? I don't think he has anything to say about anything. Maybe the embassy guide? Nope, okay. Larry is useless. I mean, could it be any more perfect that he turned out to be the Steel Samurai? As I recall, aren't you calling yourself Loris Downim now? That's Downim! Loris Downim! Get that straight in your head, Edgy! Oh! Now I remember. You're that rude, pale imitation of a real artist. No, you've got it all wrong. I gave up on that whole Loris business. Besides, when Bangelina left me and my heart in pieces, that's when Mindy walked into my life. She's been so good to me that I wanted to help her in some way. And I figured I could through this Steel Samurai outfit. Your inane blathering makes less and less sense each time we meet. I believe he's saying that he picked up this part-time job as the Steel Samurai so that he may attempt to capture the heart of the actress, who plays the Pink Princess. You got it! I knew you'd know what I meant, Edgy! Not really. It's not so much as I understood, but a simple deduction based on your usual modus operandi, Larry. He was actually good at being an artist, though. Yeah, this takes place after the third game, after the original trilogy, and before the fourth game. Larry, I'd like you to confess right now to everything you did tonight. Confess? Hey, don't tell me you suspect me too! Nonsense. I don't believe you have the mental acuity needed to plan and execute a murder. However, we are talking about you here, so I find it hard to believe that nothing happened. For past experience has taught me that you are always at the centre of some insane event. Edgy? How can you be so mean, stabbing me with your words like that? Unfortunately, I don't have the time to search out a key to unlock your heart this time, so I suggest that you cooperate and tell me what you know. Okay, I get it. Just stop Francie from whipping me from behind. So, I guess you know what I did, right, Edgy? I can't even begin to imagine. However, I imagine that whatever you were up to was probably beyond my imagination. So you will tell me what exactly you did, Larry. Nope, not yet, Edgy. It'll take more than that to loosen my lips. A lot more! Confess. Now. Oh. Okay, well, I was up on the roof. And why exactly were you up there? Oh, you know, that wintry custom and the legendary hero. Legendary? Hero? Santa Claus! Santa? Claus? I wanted to do that thing he does, so I climbed up to one of the chimneys. But when I got there, there was smoke pouring out of the chimney. What? And? Well, I couldn't go down the chimney with smoke coming up, right? So I gave up. Larry, you do realise that Santa Claus does not exist, right? Of course I know! I did graduate from junior high, you know? Then you should also understand this. If Santa was real, he would be the biggest unlawful trespasser in history. Crud! It is your attempt to imitate Santa that has landed you as prime suspect in this murder. Why was he Yeah, Edgeworth was referring to the Psycho Locks. Screw Psycho Locks, I'll let Francie beat the truth out of him. Yep. That seems to be more effective than breaking Cyclops. Come on, man! What's so wrong with pretending to be Santa? Let's start with the fact that it will be the Ides of March in a matter of hours. Santa only visits homes on December 24th. That's in December, you nitwit. No! Hey, wait a sec. We're not in court. Okay. Larry. Freaking Larry. Holy... Yeah. There. There was a grandfather clock just like this one earlier in the Babyliss embassy. You know, symmetry is a fine thing, but their interior design really suffers for it. Really? I think this clock actually fits the decor of this room quite well. I suppose the wood does suit the all-natural atmosphere of this room. Its design and the material it's made of strikes a good balance with the plants. Hey, you two! Now's not the time to be talking about interior decorating, you know? Hurry up and save me! Be quiet! This is all a part of my elite investigation. All you need to do is be quiet and watch. Actually, I do believe Larry has a point for once. Can I look at the plant? What is that plant supposed to be? Francisca, can't you see that it's supposed to be a likeness of Ambassador Alba? Oh, is it? It is. Kind of. Mars Edgeworth, as a subordinate, you have a lot of nerve telling me what to think. I look forward to your next salary assessment next month. You are deluding yourself if you think you have any control over that. There are decorative plants here as well. This room is overflowing with nature. Humans used to live in the grandeur of nature once, long ago. I believe I'm not mistaken in thinking that those people truly loved nature. This coming from a man who loves shows featuring costumed actors. Ugh, she just had to go there again, didn't she? How does Larry tie his shoes in the morning? Good lord, yeah. Maybe he has Velcros. Yeah, probably. There was the exact same statue sitting in that Babyliss office we examined. It's the Primaduck statue. It was the national treasure of the Principality of Cadopia. There was only one of these statues, meaning that one of the two is a replica. But both Alabast and Babao claim to have the real thing. What an incredibly childish fight to have. I won't rest until blah blah blah. Maybe that's what Master Mask was here to steal? There was almost the exact same wall mount for the knives on the Babyliss side, but I can't see any of the details from this distance. The counterpart to the Babyliss butterfly is the Alabastian flower. The butterfly and flower, they're both lovely things. But can we interpret this to mean that Alabast provides honey to Babao? Francisca, can't you come up with a more meaningful or profound comment? Very well then, let's hear what sort of profound comment you can come up with. Well, flowers cannot survive without the butterflies that spread their pollen. And butterflies cannot live without the nectar that flowers provide. If either one were to disappear from the equation, neither would survive. How was that, Miss Von Karma? Your explanation took so long that I nearly fell asleep. Well, let's continue the investigation. Their bickering is really good. Francisca, why can't you just admit I had something there? The kids are fighting again. It's a Primaduck statue. There was one of these on the Babyliss side as well. Yeah, this is a prosecutor's perspective. Yeah, so this hasn't gone to trial yet, so he's trying to find the real suspect before it goes to trial. I hear it's very valuable and made of pure gold. It was the national treasure of Cadopia. There was only one of these statues, meaning that one of the two is a replica. But both Alabast and Babao claim to have the real thing and won't budge from their claim. What an incredibly childish fight to have. Must be something important to look at here. The sword. Yeah. Okay, there's still something to look at here. Maybe I need to deduce something here later. There are some weapons on display on this wall. A crossbow, and under that, a set of knives bearing a flower motif. They must be the counterparts to the Babyliss knives, which means that the blades inside these scabbards should match the blade that was used to kill Mr. Cochin. I won't rest until blah blah blah. Crossbow. Why is there a weapon on display in a place like this? I wonder why there are no whips on display here. It's the Steel Samurai's primary weapon, the samurai spear. Isn't it awesome? I totally fell for this thing. It's thick and shiny, just like my heart. It comes at you like whoosh! When you hold it, you just want to live life like bam! You do well to watch what you say, Larry. Although it is just as Larry says, the spear is quite the symbol of valor. However, speaking of spears, aren't you supposed to use them by thrusting the point straight into your opponent? I'm not entirely convinced this spear is up to the task. What's wrong, Edgy? You're just staring off into the distance. Oh, I get it. Tell you what, I'll tell the studio to make you one, okay? But this one's mine. Did I say anything about wanting one? Maybe I can shut him up if I show him the piece of evidence. That will point something out about the spear. Eh? Eh? Yeah, I'll come back to that later. What is that plant supposed to be? Ah, this is the same dialogue. Hey, Rambo? Yeah, the investigation music in this game's really good. Actually, just the music in general in this game's really good. I can spot absolutely no difference between this Prima Duck statue and Babau's. The statue's face looks a bit like that costumed hero you like so very much. I only wonder why you Americans have such an affinity for this kind of face. The statue wasn't made by an American, you know. At least, I don't suppose so. Bum 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 bum. Knives adorned with flowers are on display here. I suspect that these are the counterparts to the Babyliss knives. The blades of these knives should match the blade that killed Mr. Cochin. What? One of the knives is missing its blade. Let's see if the two pieces, the blade and handle, fit each other. It would appear that they fit together quite well, almost seamlessly. Then this means that an Alabastrian knife did find its way into Babau. But how? The counterpart to the Babyliss butterfly is an Alabastrian flower. I think this is the same dialogue as before. Yeah. It's good dialogue though. Good night, Ezra. Thanks for hanging out. Okay. The person shaking hands with the steel samurai in this picture is Ambassador Alba. It was taken just before the murder. The steel samurai must be very popular. They're even using the national treasure as backdrop. I just don't understand. What exactly is so great about Top Knot there? Clearly there is a depth to this show that a young person like you can't fathom. Speaking of young people, aren't young children the target audience of this show of costumed actors? There aren't any whips, because a whip is only a weapon in anime, Francisca. Yeah. It's a fireplace, and by the looks of it, I don't think it's been used recently. Yes, I can't say that I see anything unusual about it. But Larry claimed that it was being used. Two gorgeous flowers are in full bloom here. I'm sure flowers as lovely as these must have an equally as lovely name. Miles Edgeworth, are you done staring? I should hardly think passion flowers are all that rare. Passion flowers? That's a rather unusual name. It was named by priests in the 15th century for the Passion of Christ. As they say, you learn something new every day. Passion flowers. Passion flowers data jotted down in my organizer so that I may remember its name. I love that he gave an answer, a reason for that one. Check out the desk. This must be Ambassador Alba's desk. His notebook is open on his desk. He must have been in the middle of some important work. Sapling growth log. It finally sprouted today. Funny, it doesn't look like important work to me. So this is the victim, Damask 2. What is with his gaudy outfit? You don't know. about Master Mask. A few months ago, this thief caused a lot of havoc on the populace. So this thief is separate from the Yatagarasu. I thought they were for a while, because their MO and targets were different. Damask likes high-value trinkets and jewels, and being gaudy is his signature. Gumshoe was in charge of that investigation, so he'd know more about Damask. That's alright, all I'd probably hear are tales of its failure anyway. You haven't changed a bit, I see. In any case, let's get started here, shall we? So this is Master Mask 2, so I'm guessing it's not Ron. At least I hope it's not Ron. I thought that Damask had quit the business. This guy, he's just a copycat using the name, a phony successor. He's just another petty thief. His real identity is an out-of-work guy by the name of Kashino. Casino? He's 29 and wanted on larceny charges. From his clothes and what he was carrying, we determined that this guy is the real Damask too. The cause of death appears to be the loss of blood from the back of his head. It seems that he was struck with something very hard. In other words, he was bludgeoned to death. Yeah, so it's not Ron. Yo! Hey, Dashiku? It's Ron with double N. There is not a single shred of fashion sense in Damask's costume. Well, at least I can appreciate the great effort he must have put into making it. You two don't know. You can buy this costume almost anywhere now. It's being sold? Since when? Since around New Year's. The streets are practically flooded with them. Turns out, Damask is a lot more popular than I thought it'd be. I can't believe that foolish fool would dress in fool's clothing to act foolishly. We got your point about 3 foolishes back, Francisca. So this is the murder weapon in this case. There's blood on the blade. It's a rather sweeping sword, isn't it? What did you expect? It's still Samurai Daddy's secondary weapon. Okay, is Daddy officially part of his name now? I only call it his secondary because although he uses his sword in most of his battles, it's his trusty samurai spear that he turns to in a real fight. You sure know quite a bit about the Steel Samurai. That's only because I saw the stage show earlier. The owner of this sword is the Steel Samurai, or in other words, Larry. I should probably ask him about it, as detrimental as it is to proving him innocent. Okay, why would he have real blades? Like, wouldn't he just have like props? Why would he have a real sword? Especially going into embassies like this. Weird. What's that in his hand? What is he holding? It looks like a piece of paper from a notepad. It would appear that directions on how to reach this room were written by hand. There is something written on the back as well. I'd like you to steal the prima duck statue in this room. What is that supposed to mean? Who writes a note to themselves like this? If I had to guess from the text, I would say that this is actually a request from someone about what to steal. Just who is the person that requested the theft of the prima duck statue? Weird. What's this? I suppose this was the wrapping cloth the Mask 2 used to carry his stolen goods. But there's nothing wrapped in it now. I guess he never did manage to get his hands on whatever it was he was out to steal. It's the statue! Because anime. Yeah. Anything else to look at here? Okay, we're done with this spot. Good to know. Probably just not sharpened. Hopefully. So he was bludgeoned. Yeah, so it didn't actually stab him. So he was bludgeoned with a not... Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, what we got here? A lot of things, apparently. What's new? This one. Alabas Primiduc statue. Both countries claim to own a real one. National treasure. Only Ambassador and Secretariat can touch. Why was it turned to the side in that photo? Photo was still samurai, taken in front of Alabas statue before murder. Yeah, it's turned to the side here, which is kind of weird. Passion flowers. 2 large flowers in bloom. The vines are supported by stakes and are still growing. Samurai sword. Weapon that's used on stage. Is thought to be what killed Damask II. Damask II's note. Request for the theft of the Primiduc statue with a map to where the statue is. Okay. What have we got in our logic bin? The pattern on the green cloth is the same as on Kay's clothes. It signifies thieves. Oh, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Well, there's only one thing in our logic bin, so we can't do anything with that yet. Well, let's ask Larry about stuff. You hit over 200 in a battle chain? Wow. That's cool. What do you get for hitting 200? Larry, about the samurai sword that was used as the murder weapon. Oh, that. Well, I shook hands with the ambassador in this room, you know. Yes, apparently you did. And, well, I totally forgot about it and left it behind when I left afterwards. You want to talk about shock? I was the most shocked of all when I heard it killed someone. It does sound like something Larry would do. Shocked! Foolish fool, looking especially foolish for foolishly stating such a foolish excuse. You forgot to take something that big with you? Who would believe such a tale? Sorry, Miss Von Karma, but I believe him. Because if anyone could forget something like that, it would be Larry. Edgy, you believe me? I just knew that our friendship is something special. Anyway, even if Larry had simply forgotten the sword and left it behind, that in no way clears his name, which means that I will have to prove his innocence from a different angle. Yeah, what can we show him? Let's talk about the photo. Oh hey, it's the Steel Samurai! I want you to answer this for me, Larry. Oh, okay, this is the same dialogue as before. Talk about the sword a bit more. Hey, that's an official Steel Samurai weapon. Huh? What? You want me to do it? Oh, you have no idea how many fans ask that of me. What are you prattling on about now? Steel Samurai Sushi Slice. How was that? I bet it sent shivers up your spine. Ugh, I let myself get caught up in being a spectator. How could I have failed myself? Wow. His feelings are very confused at the moment. Flowers? No? Okay. Nothing to say about the flowers. Just more items. There's only the 4 levels of loot, but you like seeing the numbers go up so high. Ah, yep. Yeah, it would be fun to see how far you can get the chain. Imagine being friends with Larry and he's somehow always there wherever you go. Yeah. Oh, he's that friend you just can't shake. He's just always. He exists everywhere at the same time. Okay, I don't think there's anything else to show him. There is this thing about the spear though. I'm not sure what Edgeworth was getting at here. entirely convinced this spear is up to the task. I don't know, Edgy. Let's see. Don't see anything about the spear here. Sketch of his face and weapon. I don't know. Try putting out the sword, see if we get anything from that. The condition of this here is related to this piece of evidence. I don't see how they're related in any way. Francisca, this is not like you at all. Don't tell me that you don't understand the meaning behind this piece of evidence. He'll be so annoying to be around, wouldn't he? I totally understand why Francisca wants to show him up so badly. Well, I don't. I suppose I have no choice then. I'll just have to explain it to you from the beginning. What you should be doing from the very beginning is admitting your mistake. She saw right through me. God. Okay, can we deduce anything about the noise? The blade is definitely Alabastian. Was this carried across country lines? There is quite a bit of Mr. Cochin's blood on this blade. Thanks to being a prosecutor, I guess I have become accustomed to seeing blood. Ah, okay, we've got the different handle now. This does look very different, doesn't it? There is a striking flower ornament on the handle of this knife. Compared to the Babyliss knife's handle, this larger one gives Alabast more presence. The handle on this knife was made to be removable. The killer tried to make this look like a Babyliss knife by switching the two handles, which means that there must be some reason behind that action. Well, I don't know what it is yet. Figure it out eventually. Yeah, Tag's been streaming a bunch of FF games and such for me. And she's currently doing FF12, which is pretty cool. I recommend people watch Tag streams, they're really good. Babyliss knife handle. Anything to look at here? So this is the old handle. Don't think there's anything new here. I wonder where the blade that this should be attached to is. Yes, I wonder. FF14 is supposedly getting some of the awful bloat in the MSQ removed. What's the MSQ? Alright, well I'm gonna go compare the photo with the statue, because that's bothering me that they're facing different directions. Main story quest. Ah, okay, cool. Very cool. Photo! Eureka! Look at this photo, and tell me what you find odd about this scene, Miss Von Karma. The apparent joy on the ambassador's face as he shakes that top-knot's hand? That's not it. I was trying to point out that the statue in the photo is facing a different way. You're right. This statue is a national treasure. As such, only an ambassador or a secretariat-level person is allowed to handle it. The fact that the statue is facing one way in this photo, and now it's facing a different direction in this preserved crime scene, is proof that someone touched this statue around the time of the crime. Okay. Why would they turn it for the photo though? Wouldn't they want it looking head on at the camera? That's weird. That's weird. Oh, it's updated info. That's the wrong one. I have so much evidence! And we're only at the second part of this. Signs it was moved during murder. I'm still betting that neither one of them are real and the real one's been stolen at some point. But I guess we'll find out. Okay, so... Oh, is there anything else to look at here? We'll check. I already checked this area? Okay, we're done with that spot. Thank you, Edgy. So we're done with that, done with that. There's still something to do here. I can't inspect this, can I? No, it's just a picture, I think. Yeah. I have, like, nothing in my logic bin, too. Got one thing! It's like having a single jigsaw piece. What do you even do with that? Talk to Franny. Okay. Miss Von Karma, what do you think about this piece of evidence? Well, since you asked so nicely as my subordinate, I'll answer you. However, as your superior, I also must make sure that my subordinates grow on the job. Oh, that's right, she asked us for our thoughts. Think you got the spear clue figured out? Ah, okay. If I need a hint, I'll ask you. That's good. Let's see. I've been wondering if maybe it's where the removable blade went, but we haven't found any signs that the spear's blade can be removed. That's what I've been wondering. Alright, let's save before I try that. Oh, I should try getting a game over here too. Yeah, thanks Tag, your streams have been really awesome. Really good. If you have a single jigsaw piece, it means you've completed the puzzle instantly. that's a good way to look at it. Let's get a game over and see what happens to poor Larry. This will take a while. Poor Larry. Is this his second time getting accused? Or his third? I think it's his second time, right? He wasn't actually accused of murder in 3.5, was he? Yeah. Eureka! Get there eventually. Eureka! I still think saying Eureka is kind of strange. He does use some interesting terminology though, doesn't he? Ha! Langzy says, expect everything from a criminal. They are always up to no good, and all of their actions are suspicious. Mr. Prosecutor, I proclaim your childhood friend to be overly suspicious. Oh. What the heck, man? I told you I didn't do a thing. Yeah, and you can tell it to us again nice and slow down at the precinct. Mr. Prosecutor, I had a slight bit of expectation for you. That you would keep me entertained. Grr. Edgy, say something. Tell him I'm not some sort of bad guy. But I have no counter-argument to offer. Glad you finally realised that. Now then, I believe his welcome brigade will be here shortly. Let's go. Edgy! Ugh, is this all I could do for him? And thus, he was arrested. And the truth was lost for all eternity. Oh. Alright. Yes, I have been wondering if maybe this was used to hide the blade, but I don't know if I have anything that proves... Hang on. I should point at the blade. No special dialogue for that part. Do I have proof that it's not right, though? Yeah, the spear's not in this photo, so... I'm still waiting to see what these passion flowers are going to be good for. This shows that the tip is straight. Maybe that's what we're going to go for. Eureka! Aha! Yay, I feel smart. Larry, about this spear. Oh, are you feeling it? Bam! I thought there was something strange about this spear. Tell me, Larry, is it just me, or is the spear a bit bent? What? No way! It's exactly as it should be, yo! I have here the autograph you wrote for me earlier. Now take a good look at this, which you drew with your own hands. You can see that the spear is clearly of a different shape. Yarr! What do you have to say to that? Oh, I'm sorry. When I hold the spear in my hands, all of a sudden I feel super powerful. And then, during practice, I was spinning it around and around, and bam! It hit the wall. You unbelievable! This is an embassy! But I've always been like that, ever since I was a kid. One time on an overnight field trip, I bought a fake sword and played with it late that night. I'm just a useless, hot-blooded man! Larry, clarify that for me, will you? Okay, so it was some field trip, and I began to shadow fight with myself. Not that. I meant what you said earlier about spinning the blade and hitting the wall. Oh, that. It's no biggie. It's not like I left a hole or anything. That's not what I'm asking, Larry. The samurai spear is made of metal. I somehow doubt that a move as simple as spinning it around would cause it to bend. Man, Edgy, you're so naive. What? Where did that come from? Well, you keep calling it the samurai spear. But it's not real. You can't really fight someone with it. Because it's hollow on the inside. You could hit it against practically anything and it would bend. Is that so? Don't tell me you thought it was real. Oh, but don't take it the wrong way. I just think that part of your personality is cute. I see. Your friendship truly is something special, Miles Edgeworth. Oh, that's not friendship. It's utter humiliation. Yeah, wow, that tip looks real weird. That's definitely got to be from one of the knives. I guess that about wraps up my investigation. That's... Yo, Pink Princess! How are you feeling? Still feeling ill? And yet another strange character comes out of the woodwork. And so, the Pink Princess also comes to pay the Alabastian Embassy a visit. I believe I may need to speak with her as well. Bum, 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 bum. Anyone else got anything new to say? Nope. Okay. Don't speak to her. The audio stings never get old. Yeah, the audio design's really good in this game, isn't it? In these games in general. Hey Shizzle, how are ya? Alright, don't see anything else to look at. Let's save before we do. Yeah, alright, so what's happened so far is we're now checking out the other embassy, Shizzle. Yeah, someone got killed here as well. I don't know what the heck happened at this place. We're still putting the pieces together. So this is Master Mask 2. It's like a copycat imposter of Master Mask. We know the person's name. It's not Ron, thankfully. And it seems like they were here to steal one of these statues, but they've been hit on the back of the head and killed. And Larry's the suspect. It turns out Larry was the one in the Steel Samurai costume. And he's the one who gave us the autograph, which was quite a upsetting fact for Edgeworth. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the important stuff. We've got loads of evidence now. Yeah, that's the important stuff. So now we're trying to clear Larry's name. Alright, talk to the Pink Princess. Cool. Miss Pink Princess, I have a few questions I'd like to ask you. Miss Pink Princess, if you would please answer. No! Me! No! No! This must be what they call fate. How could this happen 2 days in a row? What the? Aren't you Miss Oldbag? Why are you so surprised? Ah, so you're the one they got to play the Steel Samurai. It's too bad I didn't realize that until now. You are acquaintances with Larry? Why yes, we worked at the same company for a little while, you know. That's why it's okay, my edgy poo. You don't need to be jealous. I was in the next room, you know, trying to get in some beauty sleep. But it was so noisy here that I couldn't fall asleep, so I came over to complain. So imagine my shock when I saw my precious edgy poo waiting here for me. I mean, who could have imagined that you would ever come to a show like this? I guess I've misjudged you, edgy poo. You misjudged him? I thought he was trying to avoid me, you know. That was no misjudgment on your part. That's precisely what I was trying to do. But it looks like the winds have shifted and he's now willing to be chased after. I'm simply overwhelmed. Don't you worry, Edgy Poo. I'll chase you for forever. To the ends of the earth. Isn't that just peachy? This is one of those rare times when Francisco and I actually see eye to eye. This is Yeah, Francisca's working with Interpol, so technically she's doing this investigation, and Edgeworth is working for her as an assistant. Yeah, this whole situation, this I'll be surprised if this didn't put Edgeworth off of Steel Samurai forever. Francisca versus Old Bag, the match you've been waiting for. Yeah, that's right. Lang's in charge of this investigation, isn't he? And Francisca's in charge of the one in the other embassy. But we were given permission to help out by the ambassador. Alright, you get my badge. What's this? A present for me? No! Obviously I can't simply give you a piece of evidence. I see. You're just embarrassed to give it to me in front of all these people. But don't worry, I can wait. A present of love for my edgy poo is beyond worth it. Grr. What a bother. If you only knew how much, Francisca. Has he ever actually told her that he's not interested? He just keeps going. Nothing to say about that. You think he's too nice for that? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Now then, what are you doing here? I thought you were working at Gatewater Land as the Pink Badger. What are you talking about? That was ages ago. That was yesterday. Look, I worked at Global Studios before, a long time ago, right? Well, they called me up this morning, kind of out of the blue, actually. They called you? Apparently, the girl who plays the Pink Princess collapsed from a bad cold. It happened so suddenly, so they called me in to be her last-minute replacement. Do they not have enough people on staff at that studio? I really couldn't say no, so here I am, playing the role of the heroine. Instead of that Mindy girl, I mean. Mindy, who's Mindy? But the poor girl, I feel bad for her. Because they let me stand in for her. She's going to have a terrible time when she returns. I mean, I'm not exactly great at reading it, but standing at the last second, I threw that rag doll instead of the shuriken, and the audience was in an uproar, because I tell you they're really just a bunch of simpletons. You're a rather lively old lady. So, basically, you received the stand-in request this morning, correct? You got it. If you need to see it, I've got it right here. Look. It appears that she is telling the truth. I tell you, my fine acting moved the entire audience to tears. Yes, tears of laughter, as I recall. But being famous has its problems too, you know. Here, take a look at this. It's a letter from a stalker. I was just taking my break when I found this stuck under the door to my room. Wendy, I'll be descending on you from above tonight, your lovely night. That's Larry. He was trying to climb down the chimney. And now we found out why. So he misjudged who was in that costume. Honestly, you really have to watch out for these kinds of things. Look at what it says. Wendy, I'll be descending on you from above tonight. Your loving night. How absolutely revolting. I mean, you'd think you could get my name right. There's no accent in my name. Wait, this horrible handwriting. Where have I seen this before? Ah, but now that you're here, Jipu, I feel 100% safe. Where do I factor into this? You'd bust that evil stalker man for my sake, wouldn't you, Jipu? Well, if you allow me the liberty to handle this in my own way, I'll gladly dispatch a detective to your house later. Oh, come on, Edgy-Poo. Stop being so dismissive and playing hard to get. Letter from a stalker. Oh, God. Hang on. And let's look at that letter again. From Miss Oldbag. Has mistakes from bad penmanship. Yeah, that might actually say Mindy. Yep. Wow. Yep. 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 Oh dear. What were you doing at the time of the crime? What crime? What? After the show was over, I've had nothing but free time on my hands. So I used the fireplace in the room next door to keep my bad hip warm. Well, a murder occurred in the room right next to yours. Is that right? Oh, Edgy-Poo, I'm so scared. Hold me, caress me. If you could please not cling onto my personage. Send her to jail. In any case, I take it then that you failed to show up at Ambassador Alba's speech? Oh, that. No, I didn't go. I mean, I may have the heart of a young, tender maiden, but my body just refuses to cooperate at times. As soon as the show ended, my hip started acting up and got stiff. I couldn't move at all. Can you provide proof of your condition? Oh, you just go on ahead and ask the doctors in the infirmary. They're the ones who carried me from the theatre all the way to this embassy. I have to admit, the thought of her not being able to leave that room is rather pleasant. Doggy! Prosecutor von Karma, I've brought the police dog, as you requested, sir. Good work. You may leave now, officer. Is it Missile? I hope it's Missile. This dog. I requested the assistance of a dog in our search for the Yatagarasu. Looks like you guys have some pretty bright dogs in this country too. What? Hey, you're a real cutie, aren't you? Yeah, that's a good boy. That's the police dog Gumshoe's been taken care of. I think its name is Missile. Yay, Missile's back! Someone get the spray bottle. Yeah, old bag needs to calm down. Now. Aw, thanks, Tag. What a fitting name for a police dog that dashes out in front and attacks. That action alone isn't exactly what's going to solve the case for us, you know. Now, Missile, I want you to find some clues. Go. Aww. Good dog. You really are quite bright, aren't you? Unlike a certain someone I know. Now, what do we have here? What is this? It looks like a small hot dog, but... Wait, Francisca, isn't that an official samurai dog? He would recognize it. No! Bad Missile! He ate it. I wonder if it's alright for him to eat that. It's just a meat substance snack featuring the steel samurai. I'm sure he'll be fine. That's quite a bit of information you gathered there in a single quick glance. We should really be focusing on why there was a samurai dog there in the first place. It looks like that snack wasn't all Missile found. Oh, and what do we have here? It appears to be a lady's undershirt. I wonder if Ambassador Alba might have an interest in cross-dressing. I somehow doubt that. It doesn't look like the shirt would even fit him. A samurai dog in a lady's undershirt. What are these two items doing in a room like this? Given the circumstances, the lady's undershirt could only belong to one person. I suppose I should get this over with and ask the owner of said undershirt about it. Can I pat Missile? That's the important thing. He was a much bigger help than I thought he would be. Yes. However, there are a few aspects I don't understand about what he found. In that case, you should keep on investigating until you do understand. Now, my subordinate, continue with the investigation. Alright, I will. It is with great dread that I proceed and do what I must to solve the case. I want to pat Missile. Oh. No patting the dog in this game. Well. Missile ate Edgy's other prize. Yeah. The dog's name is Missile because it needs to be fired between 7,600 and 12,000 feet above sea level and gets confused by the sun. Those are some good Missile facts. Alright. Found an office fireplace. There's only one person here who would own such a shirt. Can we show it to Francisca and make her mad? Ooh, we can talk about Missile. We borrowed this dog from the local precinct. But is he really capable of handling this case? I thought police dogs are usually of a much larger breed. He may be small, but he is an excellent police dog. Furthermore, he was raised by Detective Gumshoe. You had me thinking the dog was capable until you said that he was raised by Scruffy. Yes, well, I suppose that wasn't the best of arguments to use. Now, present. Press the wrong button. Okay. Alright, is Missile in our profiles? That's the important thing. Oh, no Missile! God, there's a lot of people in here though, hey. I haven't read most of these profiles, let's catch up. Alright, Shilong Lang. Quercus Alba, age 72, gender male. Ambassador of Alabast. Also retired army man. May explain why overly harsh on himself. Huh. Okay. Larry Butts, age 25. The man under the steel samurai mask. A friend. Yeah, I wish friend was in quotes. The suspect in Damask 2 case. Tyrell Bad, age 60. Eagle-eyed homicide detective. His partner was killed 7 years ago. He's here after Callisto U. Master Mask 2, age 29. Opportunist, unrelated to First Damask. Found in Alabast. Real name Kashino. Ex-security lady. Age question mark. The woman behind the Pink Princess mask. I believe her real name is Wendy Oldbag. Okay. Alright. Bum, bum, bum. If you could please take a look at this brown-coloured undershirt. Oh, Edgy Poo, what is the meaning of this? Why did you steal that thing from my bags? All you had to do was ask, and I would have gladly given you as many as you'd like. Thanks, but no thanks. This shirt was found here at the crime scene. What? Come now, why don't you just confess and explain what it's doing here? I know nothing. Nothing, I tell you. What? Oh, I admit that I used the fireplace to dry that shirt. But I can't really help the fact that I had to, you know? Wearing that Pink Princess costume was like being in a sauna. And on top of that, I get fingered as a suspect? You're too cruel, Edgy Poo. Are you claiming that you never once set foot inside this room? Of course I am. If I had been the one to find the body, do you think I'd be as calm and relaxed as I am? I tell you, it's always like this. It's always my fault for some reason or another. The camera is missing. But speaking of, there's a matter of my husband. I guess I'm stuck marrying you. What kind of propose is that? But I can't help it. Will you marry me? Honestly, men these days. Well, I don't believe she is lying about her actions. So I can safely assume she really was drying her shirt by the fireplace on her break. And somehow the undershirt managed to move from the next room into this one. I assume the samurai dog was also yours? Ah, that brilliant mind of yours. You really can see through everything about me. And so the feeling of dread continues. But I suppose I should ask for more details. That samurai dog was yours, wasn't it? Oh, of course I'm forever yours, my edgy wedgy poo. If you could just stick to what I asked you. Edgy, are you and Miss Oldbag? No! You really don't change, do you? When will you learn how to take a joke? Anyway, that samurai dog wasn't mine. Some joke, it's been going on for a while, that's not a joke, that's stalking. Those things are a present from the studio to the embassy. A present? The studio bigwigs basically told us to play delivery boys. We were supposed to hand the dogs off to the embassy people and tell them hi. I had to pile them all into the pushcart just to move them all. Those studio guys should have delivered those things by themselves. Right, Edgy? So, did you deliver the samurai dogs to the embassy staff, as per your instructions? Hey, Edgy! Don't just ignore me and my question. Aren't you going to stick up for me? Ah, about that. See, after the show, I went to rest a spell in the dressing room. Because of my bad hip, you know. And there they were, the samurai dogs were just sitting on the dressing room floor. I suppose you had to make preparations for distributing them after the show. Well, if by preparation you mean sampling them as well. Excuse me? Oh, I tried one and thought they were actually quite good. Sorry, but I just had to find out. I know it was silly of me to think this, but I figured that since they're for a kids show, their taste was probably for kids too. but they were so good that I couldn't stop. Before I went back to my room, I just had to help myself to half a dozen or so boxes. Wow. That's a lot. As I sat there by the roaring fire, warming them and eating them, I thought, this is... What is it now? Oh, I know. I bet you want a box too, don't you, my edgy poo? Well, who am I to say no to you? But I'll only give you one. The rest are all for me. Samurai dogs forced onto me. These are dog treats, right? Nah, they're hot dogs. Looks like the lesson for today is that when the Steel Samurai and the Pink Princess take off their masks, they transform into a pair of annoying troublemakers. Yeah, Missile loves samurai dogs. Yeah, it's a reference to the first game, where Larry was selling samurai dogs and Missile went and ate them all. Present for embassy staff. Miss Oldbag took and ate a few from the dressing room. Just a few though. Only a few. Anything else to say about them? This thing really showed me not to underestimate the taste of a snack meant for kids. Was it really that tasty? Don't tell me you haven't had one yet. In that case, I'll just have to feed you one. Now, open wide. Here comes the hot dog train. No, that's perfectly all right. I'm currently on the job right now. That wasn't a good answer, because now she thinks you want her to feed her later. To feed you later. So this person will be descending on me from above tonight, huh? Oh, Edgy Poo, I'm so scared. Hold me. If you could please not cling on to my personage. Honestly, beautiful people have it so hard. All it took was for me to be up on that stage for a little while, and a stalker is born. Actually, the whole time while you were up on that stage, you were in costume. Therefore, no one should have recognized you or what you looked like underneath. But there is that thing, you know. They say people can identify you by your aura. So even without seeing my face, my stalker could see the beauty within me. So you see, that's how I charm the pants off of men. Charm? You? Preposterous. Oh dear. How does this woman not collect restraining orders? Yeah! She should have a pile of them by now. Alright, Larry. Bloody Larry. Okay, I got there eventually. Missile eating all those dogs reminds you of a story about your brother's duck eating all the fishermen's bait out on the lake. That's pretty good. Fisherman's bait. I didn't know that ducks like bait. The same bait that fish like. That's funny. Larry, I wonder if you might know what this is. Nope, not a clue. You didn't even look at it. Okay. He's refusing to look at it. Well, we've got some things in the old logic bin now. Let's save and press the logic button. You've seen ducks eat people in a movie once. Whoa, what movie was that? That sounds like a horror movie. Logic. Smoke from a chimney and use the fireplace. Actually, what happens if we get it wrong? Will Francisca chew us out? Probably. Not exactly a shining example of the perfect line of logic. Nope. Oh, okay. There is no trace of this room's fireplace being used. And your point is? Smoke was supposedly pouring out of the chimney connected to this fireplace. At least according to Larry. This is a contradiction of facts, is it not? Are you sure he wasn't just disoriented or something up on that roof? There is testimony from an investigator that puts Larry at this particular chimney. So no, I don't think it was a mistaken impression on Larry's part. On the other hand, the fireplace in the next room was being used at the time. Where do you suppose the smoke from that fireplace went? Ah, I see. So what you are proposing is this. The smoke that came out of the chimney was actually from Miss Oldbag's fire. So basically, the fireplaces of neighbouring rooms share one chimney. Is that what you're implying? You have no idea what movie it was? Ah, okay. It was live bait. The duck would come up and everyone at first was all happy because it looks like a friendly duck. And then in a couple of seconds of drilling its beak down in their tackle box, all the bait would be gone. Couple rounds of that, everyone would shut their tackle boxes whenever they saw Peeper coming. Wow. Peeper's a funny name for a duck too. Where'd that name come from? Precisely. Alright. I'm not sure how the shirt got... Maybe the smoke carried it up? The lady's undershirt that Missile found. Ah! What? Why are you getting all excited over holding on to a lady's undergarment? Mouse Edgeworth, you uncouth sea slug! If you know the owner of said undershirt, then hurry up and return it to her already. You have it all wrong. This is evidence. And the owner of this piece of evidence was in the room next door. And yet, despite that, Missile found it in the fireplace of this room. This lady's undershirt. Are you seriously claiming that it somehow passed through a solid brick wall? Not quite. The fireplace in this room is connected to a chimney. The other fireplace in the other room is also connected to the same chimney, leading us to the possibility that the two fireplaces are connected to each other. Perhaps a closer look at the back of the fireplace is in order. There is an X on the back wall of the fireplace. Let's see if I can't get a better look at it. What in the... The wall separating this room's fireplace from the next room's fireplace apparently turns. As I suspected, this fireplace does indeed connect this room to the neighbouring room. The neighbouring room? There appears to be nothing particular about the next room, but the fact that there is nothing special about the next room isn't what's important. It's the fact that there is a secret passageway through this room's fireplace. So I wonder if there's one in the other embassy office as well. We now know that the fireplace connects the two rooms, but how exactly is that significant? You aren't going to suddenly name the old lady as Damas 2's killer now, are you? No, she couldn't move at all because of her stiff hip, so she could not have been the one. Unfortunately, I believe that this fireplace has nothing whatsoever to do with Damas 2's murder. It would appear that the answer has made itself known. You're making quite a confident face there, Mr. Prosecutor. Bring it on. I'm ready to counter any argument you may have. Very well then, if you are prepared. I'll show you exactly where my deductions have led me. Good, I'm counting on you, Edgy. Leave it to me, Larry. My first attack will be to expose your lie for what it really is. My lie? I know that there is still something you are keeping from the rest of us. Well, what's wrong with you? Why is it you won't believe me no matter what I say, Edgy? Curse you! I should just hurry up and die already if that's how it's going to be. Whoa, calm down, Larry. I'll confess to every murder in the whole world, and then kill myself. Okay, calm down. And throw everything into mass confusion! Ha, you made some wonderful friends as a child, I see. Larry, I only have one thing to say to you. Even if you make that face at me, it's no use. A man who is ready to die is strong-willed, you know? Larry, it doesn't matter what sort of harebrained trouble you've caused. I only ask that you do not lie to me. If you cause an innocent person to be judged unfairly because of some insipid lie, I will never forgive you. Gee. Although, allow me to say that I consider you to be among the innocent in this case, and that I will draw the real killer out. You can trust me on this. Alright, This time I'll tell you the whole truth, okay? What happened, what didn't happen, the works. Just what happened will do. Now then, if you would please testify as to what you did up on the roof tonight. Frickin' Larry. Never trust fireplaces and waterfalls. They always hide something. Yup. Every fireplace and every waterfall in a video game needs to be carefully inspected. Every time he says that, he still lies anyway. Yeah, I'm thinking he's still gonna lie and we're gonna have to call him out on it. Up on the rooftop. After the show, I left the pushcart in the rose garden and came into the embassy. Then, they took a picture of me shaking hands with the ambassador. After that, and until my next appearance, I had some free time, so I wandered around. That's when I spotted the chimney. A chimney like that is a rare thing, you know? So then, I wanted to play Santa and decided to give it a try. Still lying. Larry, I thought I'd just finished telling you not to lie anymore. But it's kinda ultra embarrassing. And what exactly is so ultra embarrassing that you can't tell me? Edgy man, I just said it was embarrassing, so of course I can't just blurt it out. So you're just gonna have to reason it out of me. As your superior, I command you to hurry up and expose this man's lie. I have every intention to, for I'm not about to let us waste time on such a trifling matter. See, Larry knows, he admits that we're going to get the truth out of him. So he knows he's just wasting our time. After the show, I left the pushcart in the rose garden and came into the embassy. You left the pushcart? Could you please clarify that statement for me? Yeah, so the wheels on the pushcart got covered in dirt from the rose garden. It would have made a mess of the floor inside, so Ambassador Alba said to just leave it. Well, it would be rather impolite to dirty another country's embassy. Come to think of it, I recall seeing the Pink Princess on my way into the embassy. And what was she doing? Nothing in particular, because she was being carried by some docs on a stretcher. She must have been incapacitated by the pain of her bad hip that she suffered during the show. So I came into the embassy, right? And then they took a picture of me shaking hands with the ambassador. So, you shook hands with the ambassador of the Kingdom of Alabast, did you? Yeah. Can you believe it? I did something really cool for a change. But, honestly speaking, there's nothing interesting about shaking some guy's hand. Hey there. Are you disrespecting another country in their very own embassy? Oh, he's sweating. Is he nervous about it for some reason? As someone with roots in this country, I'm feeling nothing but incredible shame at this second. Agreed. I apologise for his inconsiderate words. Now, Larry, please continue. What is with all of you? You keep saying that kind of thing and I'll tell you only lies. You keep saying that kind of thing and I'll tell you only lies. You're already telling us nothing but lies, so let it go and move on. Oh, right already. You don't need to glare at me like that, Edgy. Yeah, the pushcart had the steel samurai baby in it, didn't it? The iron infant. So what is the iron infant, if it's just a prop? Yeah, I guess it's just a prop. After that, and until my next appearance, I had some free time, so I wandered around. Larry, I want you to listen very carefully and take this to heart. The whole point of your life is to cause misery and pain to everyone you encounter. I know! I get it! I'm totally the bad guy again. I thought you were his friend. Don't you think that was a bit harsh? Lang Z says, true friends are bosom friends. If you are in trouble, call on your bosom friend, whose shoulder you can truly cry on. Hey, bosom buddy! I hope you're listening carefully to my testimony. Has it crossed your pea-sized brain yet that Agent Lang is only out to arrest you, Larry? Now then, you were wandering around inside the embassy, and then what happened? God, I hope he doesn't start calling Edgy his bosom buddy. Lang Z is a man of wisdom, yes. It's a prop, yeah, but that just means he left his baby behind, since he's in the role of the Steel Samurai. Yeah. That's when I spotted the chimney. A chimney like that is a rare thing, you know? I should hardly think that chimneys are that rare. Agreed, especially since they are a traditional feature of American houses. Plus, many grand buildings have even larger and fancier chimneys. Yeah, but the kind of chimney I'm talking about is the really romantic type. A romantic chimney? It might sound kinda silly, but women seem to really enjoy them. And I just had a good feeling about that chimney. So then, I wanted to play Santa and decided to give it a try. As I suspected, you do have something to hide, Larry. But what could be so embarrassing that you'd be willing to go to jail for it? This man's mind is a complete mystery to me. I believe it's a secret to everyone of a normal mindset, how Larry's mind works. However, taking into account his usual women-obsessed way of thinking, I believe that his lie this time is also related to a woman, and this is what I intend to prove. You suddenly wanted to play Santa. Oh, well, actually, I dressed up as Santa once before already. That was down at Gourd Lake. Grr. I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't dredge up such unnecessary memories for me. Ha, sounds like you guys share a lot of history. A perk to being childhood friends, huh? Besides, it's not a felony to dress up and play Santa, you know. Santa doesn't go around killing people after he comes down a family's chimney, after all. Actually, is it worth delving into whether or not playing Santa is a big deal? We'll come back to that one, I reckon. So I guess you don't have a problem with my statement? Perhaps. I need to gather more information first. I want to see what dialogue we get if we present something wrong. This piece of evidence shows the fatal flaw in your testimony. I don't really get it. So yeah, can I continue with what I was saying? Sure. I guess I was wrong. Anything else? Or just the one? Larry, there is a major contradiction in that statement just now. Really? Hey Francie, what do you think? I don't want to agree with you on anything, but in this case, there is no contradiction. See, Edgy? Even Francie says there's no problem. I know I'm off when they're agreeing with each other. Although it seemed as though I had him, it appears that I was the one who was had. At this rate, I will never grab a hold of the truth. I must carefully listen to his testimony once more. Alright, let's go deal with this Santa business. Sure. Actually, I believe in the case of this man, playing Santa is actually quite a big deal. Are you saying that your buddy isn't exactly made of Santa quality stuff? Precisely. You hit the nail on the head, Agent Lang. Hey, Edgy! That's so incredibly mean! Tell me something, Larry. Did you know that Santa's job is to deliver presents to people all over the world? Of course I know that! I did graduate from junior high, you know! In that case, it's your turn to tell me something. I want you to tell me to whom you were delivering a present to. I was, delivering a present to a child, not basking in the glow of love? That must be the most elegant description of you I've ever heard. But a lie is still a lie. You sure know how to kick a guy when he's down, you know that? In any case, the person you wish to deliver a present onto was most certainly this. Oh, I was going to point out me. Yourself! That's right, it was this person. Edgy? Looks like you can say totally irrelevant things too, just like me. I refuse to be lectured by a man who bumbles through life like a punch-drunk monkey. Grr, it would appear that I was mistaken. Yeah, no, apparently you have to graduate to know who Santa is and what he does. There must be a whole course on Santa. But if I think through this rationally and calmly, the answer should become clear. The person Larry wanted to deliver a present to. There really is only one person it could be. Bum, 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 bum. Ha! Interesting taste you have there, Mr. Suspect. Don't spread lies about me. I totally didn't want to see Miss Oldbag so much that I'd try to go down a chimney. Oh! I advise you to stop right there in your bashing of a lady. Well, I must admit that I myself hardly ever have the want to run into that lady. However, what if you were misinformed and under the wrong impression? Then what? Define wrong impression. I simply mean that the man before you thought to enter the old lady's room, without knowing one very important fact. And that fact is best summed up with this. My badge. Larry, I'd like for you to take a look at this piece of evidence. No way! But it's not really all that important, is it? It's always like this. You acting so high and mighty, and then you bully me. That's why I refuse to look at it. Be quiet and just take a look. Well, if you say so, Francie, but only because you say so. Some people never change, even if their attitudes do change at the whim of women. So what's up with that anyway? Why, it's proof that you never even knew existed, of course. Oh, is that all? Well, I don't need it right now, so I'll just give it back to you. What? I've got you on the ropes now, don't I? Was that piece of evidence unrelated to the question at hand? I need to think through this one more time. I better save, actually, since I'm costing him lots of health. Yeah, that's a lot of dialogue for wrong evidence. That was good. It reminds you of The Rescuers Down Under. I didn't make it all the way to 3rd grade for nothing. I haven't seen that movie in ages, actually. I don't remember what it's like. I should rewatch it. That'll be a big nostalgia thing. Larry didn't know one very important fact when he tried to sneak into the old bat's room. And that fact is best summed up with this. I'm guessing it's the autograph. Oh, hang on, no, she has proof that she was asked to stand in. Yeah. This is something the old lady received from her employer for the night. The girl who normally plays the Pink Princess. Mindy, was it again? It seems that this man is quite taken with that actress. But that's not true, Edgy. She's the one with the hots for me. I just know it. I can feel her sexy beam piercing my heart when she's watching me. Sexy beam, I tell you. You filthy, despicable, inconsiderate, fickle, idiotic, cowardly apparition of a man. Apparition? You haven't matured at all since we last met. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Yes? This guy. He's got bigger problems than just getting involved in murders, I take it. I suppose you could put it that way. Hey, what the heck, man? I don't get you guys at all. Why do you all have to make me out to be some sort of bad guy? To return to the original topic, I propose that at least this much has been made clear. Without any knowledge that Miss Mindy had fallen ill, Larry tried to make his way into the Pink Princess's room, That much we know for sure. Hey, Edgy! Looks like I've got the hang of this court thing now. But we're not in court at the moment. Shut up! I see what's going on here, and it looks just like what you do in court. I guess old boy here still has something he'd like to say. Lang Zi says, until the root of the tongue dries, one never knows the whole truth. You shouldn't form conclusions until everything is out in the open, which is why I'll listen. Alright, then get ready to listen to me defeat Edgy in a battle of wits. Larry, have you forgotten that should I lose, your victory prize will be your arrest? Oh. The cat left me. She was on the couch, but now she's gone. Bloody Larry. You're with Francisca on that one. Larry is a butts. This is when your co-workers meet that one friend accidentally. Yes. Larry's assertion. So you think that all I wanted to do was to go visit Mindy? Well, I dressed up as Santa and climbed up to the chimney, but the smoke was really thick. It was a case of mistaken identity, and that mistake made me late for the speech. Then, to top it all off, I became a suspect in a murder. That's what you really meant. But why would I ever put myself through so much humiliation on purpose? What? What was he even trying to say? Hey, someone say something! Larry, are you seriously trying to submit this, not as a confession, but as testimony? So what if I am? Is there something wrong with that? My claim is a claim claiming my claim. Do you have a problem with that? So it was you. You're my stalker. But I should warn you, it doesn't matter what kind of flattery you throw at me. I am the devoted type of woman who's wholly focused on one man. But as well as Edgy Poo is alive, I can't just drop him and be unfaithful. I was tempted just a tiny whiny bit by that wolf man. Stay completely true to my beloved Edgy Poo. I'm so inspired. You're such an inconsiderate, cowardly, idiotic, and all-around completely worthless man. I thought I heard something ominous just now, but perhaps it was just my imagination. She mentioned something about Lang. Lang seems to enjoy watching Larry make a fool of himself. Yeah, Lang's having fun here. Nobody knows what he's trying to say. Yeah. I believe there is nothing further for me to prove at this point. What do you mean? Of course you've still got something to prove. You still have to show some proof that I was trying to meet up with Mindy. Proof, you say? Remember, Edgy, everything is evidence in court, right? You mean evidence is everything in court, Larry, but I understand your point. Yeah, see? I'm totally a pro at this now. Very well, if you wish to see the evidence. Then let me show you the last piece of evidence you'll ever wish to see. We do have to do a rebuttal for his whole thing. Stalker calling the butts a stalker. Yeah, they're a matched set, they are. Two stalkers. Larry Butt's Ace Attorney. Oh, that would be a mess. That would. So you think that all I wanted to do was to go visit Mindy? Well, I have been saying that for a while now. After all, if not for that, then for what other reason did you wish to go down that chimney? You can't say that without any evidence. That's against the rules, Edgy. Ha! Thanks for keeping the prosecutor in line for me, Mr. Suspect. I have the evidence, and if you wish to see it that badly, I can introduce you to. But it's not good to keep them waiting, my subordinate. Hurry and show them already. Lies! All lies, Edgy! Well, if you wish to lie, then by all means continue. Because I'm ready to expose your lie at a moment's notice. Oh, you won't get the better of me. Now, let's see. Well, I dressed up as Santa and climbed up to the chimney, but the smoke was really thick. Was the smoke coming from the chimney really that thick? You bet. It was so thick I had tears pouring out of my eyes. It was a mess. I see. You do realise that you've just confirmed for us your chimney escapade? What? That's totally unfair. You tricked me, Edgy. Hardly. You simply have yet to master how to counter this cross-examination technique. Well, what I just said was a slip of the... No, I mean, I said the wrong thing. Besides, isn't this what you really meant to say about what I did tonight? It was a case of mistaken identity, and that mistake made me late for the speech. I'm not quite sure how you could mistake that actress for this lady. Oh, Edgy Poo, are you staring at me? Oh, are you finally succumbing to my feminine charms? I should think that the Steel Samurai is the one who should know all about your charms. What? Me? Edgy? What are you trying to do to me? Nothing. Simply that the Steel Samurai and the Pink Princess are husband and wife. Ah, is my poor little Edgy Poo jealous? If you could please drop that line of discussion right this instant. But Edgy, I told you, I already have Mindy. Speaking of Mindy, exactly what kind of woman would you say she is? Edgy, are you seriously telling me you don't know who the Mindy is? She's just like what her name means. She's super sweet with a great smile. I don't mean to brag, but she's one of the troupe's fastest rising stars. Interesting. Ha! So you're saying a woman like that is what made you late to the speech? Huh? Curse you too! Why is everyone out to make a suspect out of me? Look, all I can say is this. I was late to the speech. Then to top it all off, I became a suspect in a murder. That's what you really meant. I suppose you might be correct in a small way. What do you mean by that? Besides being a suspect in a murder, there are a few other things you are a suspect of. Oh, not you too, Franzi. You tried to stalk me, but I won't let you intimidate me like that. Oh god, she's got a sword. She's got a sword. Someone disarm her. Look, I already told you, Miss Old Bag. I wasn't after you. I was trying to see Mindy. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, can I just arrest this guy already? I completely understand how you feel, Agent Lang. But wait, please listen to what I have to say. If you have a serious assertion to make, then I'd consider listening. However, no problem. I'm gonna put all I've got into this, so listen good, okay? Yeah, just arrest him, yeah. But why would I ever put myself through so much humiliation on purpose? This whole testimony is one giant confession of all that he's done tonight. He's practically begging me to show why he bothered to put himself through all of this. I'm Ben. Larry, this is the final point you wish to make? You got it! I've called on all the energy I have and told it to you with all my soul. In that case, allow me to take that soul and break it. Huh? Yes, we'll stamp it under our feet until it's been ground to fine powder. Fine powder? Eek! If you really put all your soul into that, then you're ready for what's coming, right? In place of the Honourable Larry, I offer my soul to you. Larry, come out from behind there and face this like a man. You're scary, my liege. This whole testimony, yeah, blah blah blah. Save. Not sure which statement to present it at, so we'll just save. Save yourself some time. Drop the murder charges and arrest him and Old Bag for harassment. Yup. Yup. Agree. God, remember he left that note for Iris as well, didn't he? Back in 3.5. That note that she thought was a blackmail note. Oh. Alright. Yeah, so I think this is the one we presented at. The, not the autograph. Not the autograph. Let's talk a little. Larry, don't even think about denying that you have knowledge of this letter. Hey! Why are you showing that thing to me? Wendy, I'll be descending on you from above tonight. Your loving knight. Well, isn't that just romantic? But you weren't able to descend on her from above, were you, Mr. Loving Knight? Oh! I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't remember a thing. You can pretend to be ignorant all you'd like, but it's written right here. This letter proves that you were not out to meet the old lady, but rather that you were attempting to pay Miss Mindy a visit. What part of this letter shows that the person Larry had intended to meet was Mindy? Bam, this part. All will be answered if we simply look here. Really? Because I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be looking, Edgy. My finger is apparently not as precise as I thought it to be. You leave me with no other choice. I shall have to point you to a spot that even you can easily comprehend. Yeah, around here. Larry, I suggest you take up penmanship lessons. That is, if you never wish to experience this level of embarrassment ever again. What the heck? What are you talking about? Speak English! You wrote Mindy so sloppily that it became Wendy to the average eye. Hey, stop picking on me. It's so embarrassing. There. Isn't that what childhood friends are for? They're the best, aren't they? For punching? But that will have to wait until we're off this crime scene. Eric, Edgy, save me from the scary man. Sure, but if you're willing to make amends. Starting with your incredibly embarrassing mistake. That wasn't me. Come again? It's a fake! Someone's out to get me, so they made that fake letter. Larry. Gonna save. Oh my god, Larry. Larry. Why? Why must he be so Larry? To set me up! Accept your defeat graciously. But you guys are being so mean. Penmanship analysis. What's that? No matter who, all people have certain unique features to their handwriting. Ergo, all we have to do is compare the handwriting in this letter to a sample of yours. And we'll know soon enough who it was that sent this letter. I'll never write another thing in my life. We've got the autograph, so... Hey, Lady Luna, welcome. Accounting Nightmare players cringe the game. Yep, whenever Larry shows up, it's cringe town. It's no use, Mr. Loving Knight, for you've already graciously provided me with a sample of your handwriting. My badge. You remember this, don't you? Nope, but if you're giving it to me, I'll take it. As if I'd give this to you. Oops, wrong piece of evidence. Anyway, I don't need you to write anything for me. I'll get that health back, because we're getting low on health now. How are you, Lady Luna? I hope you're doing well. This has been a long segment. We're at the 2.5 hour mark already. This is only middle part 1, so I think this is going to be a long case. Bloody Larry. Longest case in the game? Ah, okay. That makes sense, seeing as it's the big finale. Take that! This autograph and our mysterious letter. If we compare the handwriting, we'll know the answer to our questions soon enough. Confess now, Larry, to your miserable failure. I'm sorry. I did it. It was me causing trouble again. I admit it. You hit the nail right on the head, Edgy. So, he finally confesses. I saw the pink princess being carried around in a stretcher and got worried, alright? I wanted to go into Mindy's room, but the doctors wouldn't let me in. So what choice did I have? It was the chimney or bust, Edgy. Your mind jumped from the door to the chimney? What a criminally overactive imagination. Well, at least I was honest and wrote Mindy a letter and stuck it under the door. That way she wouldn't be so shocked when I came down through the chimney. Except for the fact that the letter was an utter failure at conveying said sentiment. I'm really, really sorry. He's never sorry, because he keeps doing this stuff. Larry, you may be a shameful, good-for-nothing blight on the face of humanity. However, I always knew you weren't the killer. I told you to trust me, because, at the very least, I can attest to that about you. Edgy, you're... We've lost a lot of valuable time because of you. Oh. Yes, we have. How long did that take? In any case, I believe we can say that we now know exactly what happened. Mr. Larry Butts sought to climb down the chimney, not for access to the crime scene, but to enter the room of the elderly lady next door. Great job, Mr. Prosecutor. Although, I still find it a bit unbelievable that the two of you are friends. But the suspicion on that guy over there isn't completely resolved yet, so don't get any funny ideas about running off, okay? Oh, hey, what? Edgy? What does the wolf man mean when he says I'm not off the hook yet? He means that the murder weapon. Larry, did you forget? There are 2 layers of suspicion hanging over your head. That's exactly what I meant. We can't only rely on the words of the suspect after all. How did this guy survive to adulthood? Because Phoenix and Edgeworth bail him out. Yep, exactly. Exactly. We may have figured out where he was and what he was doing all night. But the blood-stained samurai sword that was left at the crime scene, as long as there is no satisfactory explanation for that, this wolf will refuse to ease up on his bite. Eek! Edgy, that guy. He looks like he's seriously about to take a bite out of me. I'm well aware, and you should be as well, that this upcoming battle will be crucial. Thanks to the cooperation of our lovely bumbler, I've been dealt a very nice hand, and a sweet trump card. Looks like we're about to enter the final bout. Now, Mr. Prosecutor, let's see what you've got. I can easily point out the contradiction in the supposed murder weapon, but the real problem for me is figuring out what the real murder weapon is. This will be a high-stakes gamble, but this is one game I can't afford to lose. Bum, bum, bum. When Larry comes along, Fran should whip him. When Larry causes problems, Fran should whip him. One of the few times you can honestly say that Francie is justified in whipping someone. Yup. Yup. There. Why Larry? I was the one who found the body of the victim, Damask too. Beside him was the samurai sword, glittering red and offering up the scent of blood. It was supposed to be in the Still Samurai's dressing room, but I found it here instead. Plus, I found the murder weapon's owner, the suspect, Larry Butts, in here too. Wait, in here? Isn't it a bit far-fetched to accuse someone simply on the basis of ownership? But this owner wanted to sneak onto the crime scene. I think that's plenty to go on, don't you? If you're alluding to his reason for being by the chimney, we've already established that. Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. You two are long-time friends, right? Who's to say you didn't fabricate the evidence to give him an alibi? You're accusing me of fabricating evidence? You think I can believe anything you produce? Forging evidence is all you prosecutors do. This man has some serious issues with prosecutors. But come on, I can't think up something as complicated as that, right, Edgy? Larry, I can agree because I know you and your personality well. However, Agent Lang knows nothing about you. Or me, for that matter. I sense his hatred for my entire profession emanating from his entire being, meaning that the only way I can prove Larry's innocence is to present irrefutable evidence. I was the one who found the body of the victim, Damask too. So you were the first to discover the body this time. This time? What's that supposed to mean? You'd better watch what you say. I only said this time because earlier Kay was the first to discover the body in Babao. And your secretary, Agent Sheena, was ready to accuse her of murder for that. Ha! So are you going to use that excuse to call me suspicious now? Of course not. I was simply pointing out the usual pattern with discoverers of bodies. But in the Babyliss case, there was proof that she was holding the weapon, right? Well, in this one, it's a bit different, since we know exactly where the weapon is. Beside him was the samurai sword, glittering red and offering up the scent of blood. Excuse me, but glittering red and offering up the scent of blood? Do I have to spell it out for you? I mean the sight and smell of blood, of course. And according to the tests, the blood on the sword belongs to the victim. The sword was made to only be used on stage, so it's not sharp. But it is pretty weighty. It's certainly heavy enough to beat someone to death with. Which leads me to suspect that the victim was beaten to death with the sword. Beaten to death, huh? This last statement is too important to just let it slip by. Alright, we'll come back to that one, because that seems like the important one. I suspect he beat the victim to death with that thing. About this samurai sword, have you received a report from the forensics yet? They confirmed that the blood on the sword belongs to the victim. Alright, but have they confirmed that the outline of his wound is consistent with the weapon? Tell me something. Do you see the dead body right there in front of you? So, if they were conducting the autopsy right now, shouldn't that body not be here? Well? I suppose so. I guess they must still be investigating this room. Meaning that it's possible he doesn't know about that piece of evidence's true nature. Nice. Real vague, Edgy. Anything else you'd like to chit-chat about? No? Good. Now let's continue. It was supposed to be in the Steel Samurai's dressing room, but I found it here instead. What if they're performing autopsy on pictures of the body? Larry has already testified that he forgot the samurai sword here. Yeah, I was shaking hands with the ambassador in here, and I left it behind by accident. So what? You lied earlier, so who's to say that this excuse isn't just another lie? But I forget stuff all the time, right, Edgy? Tell him! Why don't you tell him yourself? You see, what did I tell you earlier? No one will buy such a pathetically weak excuse. Yes, well, I know that it's not possible to prove such an excuse as truth. And yet you offer it up as fact? You're a worse person than I originally thought. You are free to think what you like, however I know that Larry is not the killer. Agent Lang, please continue with your argument. I'll expose the flaw in it soon enough. Plus, I found the murder weapon's owner, the suspect, Larry Butts, in here too. Just because he is the owner of the weapon, therefore he must be the killer, is it? No. Climbing all the way up to the chimney is plenty suspicious in my book as well. Regarding that, I have already drawn the truth out, and the truth is one thing I don't bend. It doesn't matter if it's you or whoever. You prosecutors are all the same. And as for me, prosecutors are the one thing I don't trust in. An agent who doesn't trust prosecutors? What are you playing at? Sorry, sis. But there are only two things I trust. My subordinates and evidence at the crime scene. Agent Lang hates prosecutors, but as long as he trusts evidence that has been left at a crime scene, then there is something I can show him that he can believe in. It's simply not possible that the samurai sword is the real murder weapon, so I should focus on proving that point to Agent Lang first. Really, eh? Hang on, what was the new statement? Was this one changed? Beside him was the samurai sword, covered in the victim's blood. So the sword is covered in the victim's blood? Yeah, the lab results confirm that the blood on the sword matches the victim's. But the sword is as dull as a vanilla envelope. It's just a stage prop after all. The Still Samurai is all about safety first, so you can't use it like a real sword. The Still Samurai has spoken. The Pink Princess also appears to have something she'd like to petition to you personally. What the Pink Princess would like to say can wait for the day after eternity. Anyway, my point is that even though the sword is too dull to slice with, it's certainly heavy enough to bludgeon someone to death with. Therefore... Okay, why is it not the murder weapon? Let's have a look-see at it. Weapon that's used on stage. Because it should be bent, because the spear is bent from just hitting a wall, so the sword should be bent too. Yeah. I feel smart. Let's save. Agent Lang, are you a bloodhound? A chihuahua perhaps? Maybe a Labrador? God, he would get so upset if we called him a chihuahua. He thinks he's a wolf. Actually, do we get special dialogue for getting this wrong? Agent Lang, if you could take a look at this piece of evidence, you'd see that there's a very big flaw in your logic. I think we've seen this before. Yeah, I think it's the same as previous cases. Restart. Why can't we play as the dog? Yeah. Is Missile still here, by the way? I want to pat the dog. We couldn't even pat the dog. Show him the spear. There it is. Do you know what this is, Agent Lang? Ha! It's a long spear, right? We used to use those a lot in my country a long time ago. Piercing, mowing people down. Spears are the weapon of heroes throughout history. The weapon of heroes, mowing people down. Those two statements don't go together. It's the next most effective weapon, after the whip. I think the whip is in a slightly different category. So, what's your point? Are you going to tell me that the spear is the real weapon? No, I simply want you to take a look at this section here. The way it's bent? Precisely. Apparently, a certain troublemaker hit it against a wall in this embassy earlier. And as you can clearly see, the insides of the Steel Samurai's weapons are hollow. In other words, they're replicas that aren't strong enough to deliver a damaging blow. Let alone the multiple strikes necessary to bludgeon someone to death. And yet, there is not even a dent in the samurai sword. How do you explain that? Oh yeah, the sword and the spear are made of the same stuff, so they bend easily. But I wish they'd make them out of better stuff, because the spear got bent. I wasn't able to do my special early summer rain jab move, Man, I got such an earful from the director of the play for not doing it in the show. The Steel Samurai's special move was changed tonight because of him? Oh, he's upset about that. Larry ruined the samurai lore. Gotta make a note of this. Ouch! And what note did we make on that? I've got to see. Because he bent it, Larry couldn't do the early summer rain jab special move. Larry ruined everything. He's even ruining the lore. That's more than enough of your whiny whimpering. Now, back on the topic of the spear. Yes, let's return to the real topic of discussion. This is where the real gamble begins. I don't have a real strategy per se, so all I can do for now is let the chips fall where they may. He made a rhyme. Using guesswork and taking risks in place of real logic is hardly the Von Karma way. It's neither smart nor very clever. Miss Von Karma, as you know, unlike your father, I am not a genius prosecutor. Plus, I doubt his record of a 40-year win streak will ever be broken. But perhaps it is for the best if it remains unbroken. For no one should have conceived of the notion to convict all defendants in the first place. Well, having an argument about Manfred now. What a foolishly foolish statement from a foolish fool who hates to lose. It's the job of a prosecutor to make sure that all defendants are found guilty in court. There is nothing more important in this world than a perfect victory. That may be your opinion, however, I don't believe that's all we are. As a prosecutor, what I pursue is not the perfect victory, but the perfect truth. And if that means that the bridge I must cross will crumble beneath my feet, then let it crumble as I walk on towards the truth. You're good at keeping me entertained, Mr. Prosecutor. But you know, humans are delicate creatures. The slightest bump, and we expire. I'd like you to consider, if you will, the possibility that the sword was used in such a way that the attack killed Damas II without bending it. How? So, what do you think of my hypothetical scenario? I think you know what to do here, right? And what you need? Of course. What I need is evidence even Agent Lang can't refute. This is it. It's time to bring this to a close. Why, Larry, Part 2. Hey, fascinated? Welcome. Welcome to the stream. It's possible to use the samurai sword to kill someone. And under these circumstances, it's the only logical conclusion. We searched the embassy, top to bottom, but the victim's blood is only on that weapon. Oh, okay. They're fast. So, isn't it only natural that suspicion would fall onto the owner of said weapon? How long do you intend to cling onto that preposterous theory? As long as I want, because we examined every corner within the walls of this embassy. There's no stone we've left unturned. And we have managed to come up with only one logical conclusion. That the only place inside this embassy with the victim's blood on it is this sword. You left no stone unturned. Is that a fact? If you've got something to say, then say it in the only way I respect, Mr. Prosecutor. Yes, of course. In that case, allow me to make it all crystal clear for you. He does have like 1,000 men to conduct investigations. Yeah, that's true. It's possible to use a samurai sword to kill someone. May I inquire as to how you're able to make such a claim, Agent Lang? Lang Z says, capable of miracles beyond comprehension, a mysterious creature is man. Who was it who tried to use that excuse in court? That's right, that's something Phoenix said when he got something wrong. He was trying to go like, oh, humans can do amazing things when they have to. Rather than man, it's Agent Lang's quotes that are getting increasingly incomprehensible. The human body is a mysterious thing, even with a toy-like sword. It's easy to kill a man if you hit just the right spot. Which is why I think it's possible to kill with this thing without leaving a dent. That's ridiculous. But we can only be sure one way or the other by seeing if the wound matches the sword. Ha! I know that. But as long as it's a possibility, I can proclaim it as much as I'd like. And under these circumstances, it's the only logical conclusion. But you must know that your conclusion is wrong. Given the circumstance I'm in, the only people I can trust are my subordinates. Because they're a much more trustworthy bunch than you prosecutors will ever be. And you call yourself a professional? You still don't see, do you, Mr. Prosecutor? You have to earn my trust. And the only way to do that is to show me proof of another possible murder weapon. Another possible murder weapon? In this room, there is only one other thing left. This is going to be a gamble, but I can't withdraw from the game now. You're not going to get me to trust you by the power of your glare alone, you know. Plus, I have other reasons as to why I think the samurai sword is the murder weapon. Is it? People can die from pretty small bumps. Ah. That is sad to hear. We searched the embassy, top to bottom, but the victim's blood is only on that weapon. A hand has 5 fingers, citation needed. The only place where you could find blood was on the samurai sword. That's right, even with luminol. Which means that there are no other possibilities outside of what I've already outlined. Do I have a problem with Agent Lang's assertion that the samurai sword is the weapon? Yeah, but I'll come back to this one. Perhaps I should wait and see how this plays out for a bit longer. Agent Lang, if you could be so kind as to continue with your testimony. Ha! So isn't it only natural that suspicion would fall onto the owner of said weapon? And what if you were to find a different murder weapon? Would that clear Larry's name? Are you saying you can prove the possibility? Of course. And if you don't believe that I can, then I'll show you something to convince you. Evidence that you cannot refute. Ha! Sounds like fun, Mr. Prosecutor. Alright then, go ahead and show me what you've got. I can prove to you the possibility that the murder weapon is something else, but I cannot do so on my strength alone. What? Miles Edgeworth, what are you running straight into a quagmire for? I thought you said that you were busy in pursuit of the perfect truth. And if that's the case, then show me this perfect truth, if it exists at all. Don't worry. Thanks to you, I've already prepared myself to do just that. There's no need to thank me. I'm simply doing what any good superior would. I suppose you are. Very well then, I will show you the possibility of a different murder weapon. Yeah. Alright, let's save before we dive on in. Hey, Counting Kittens. Spoilers from Case 4. Burn is Irish Gaelic for raven, and Callisto is a genus of poisonous butterfly, and you a genus of poisonous tree. Oh wow, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Thanks, Counting. Oh. Objection! If you believe that there is no other door of possibility left to open, then allow me to force one open for you. Ha! And how do you plan to do that? By showing you what may possibly be the real murder weapon. The real murder weapon? I hate to repeat myself, but my men have already searched every last inch of this embassy, and they've concluded that nothing else could have been used as the weapon. Knowing these facts, do you still want to press forward with your little hypothesis? Of course. Because it's not possible that your men inspected everything in their investigation. Yeah, I see where this is headed. What are you talking about? I don't appreciate mind games. And I don't appreciate it when people like you slander my men. I'm not slandering them, I assure you. I'm merely pointing out that their investigative dragnet has a few holes in it. Namely, that there is something your men couldn't even lay a finger on. And that item is the real murder weapon. Alright then, I'll play along for now. This real weapon that killed Damas too. What exactly is it? The real murder weapon, which not a single person has yet to touch, is my badge. This is the weapon you're looking for. Langzy says, one should always perform one's job in the proper manner. And I can't see how it's proper to show me evidence so devoid of potential or relation. Was I mistaken? Ha! Now then, Mr. Prosecutor, I'm going to give you one more chance. But only one more, you got that? Because that's all the playtime I've got. I must remain calm and think through this carefully. The real weapon that killed Damas too. It has got to be that thing. I just know it. That thing. I'm going to get my health back. It's definitely that thing. It's quite common in this game, actually, that Edgeworth has figured it out before the player, and the player kind of has to catch up. Yeah, it's the statue. I'm still thinking that maybe the statue was stolen and replaced with a fake because it's been turned around. But maybe it was just the murder weapon though. Fun fact: this is by far the most fatiguing case you have played in the entire series. Really? Ah, fatiguing. It's just super long. Do you mean? It's kind of funny because when you play Phoenix, you figure out everything before he does. That's pretty true, isn't it? That's pretty funny. Occasionally he has like an idea and then you have to catch up, but it's yeah, that's not very common though. I'm going to stop and have dinner pretty soon, so if this doesn't end soon, then I'll probably just save and leave it for another day. Yeah, I think it's the statue, because they're not allowed to touch it, because only the ambassador and the secretariat are allowed to touch it. Take that! The national treasure of Alabast. You mean the Prima Duck statue? Yes, and as you know, only the ambassador and his secretariat may touch it. It's interesting they gave Lang a not-so-fast soundbite, but they didn't record an objection one. That's kind of weird. Which, I believe, means that neither you nor your men were able to examine it, correct? Ha! Ha ha ha! You know very well that if we did that, there'd be an international incident between the Kingdom of Alabast and the Republic of Babao. The two countries' precarious relationship teeters in the balance over a stupid fight related to a sovereignty statue. But I'll be damned if I let something go unexamined. Agent Lang, if you could take a look at this. The direction the statue is facing just before and after the crime are different. And there is only one conclusion I can draw from that. Go look for Ambassador Alba, and get him to give us the okay to examine the statue. Shifu, you can't listen to this infidel's words. He is most definitely trying to trick you. Shifu, please, let's be rational about this. Err. Langzy says. Just go already. Yeah, yes, sir. Shifu? Yeah. I'm really sorry, sir, but I was unable to convince the ambassador. I was unable to obtain permission for us to examine the Prima Duck statue. Huh. I see. Wait, But then the investigation is at a standstill. Agent Lang, I will go and speak with the ambassador personally. Save your breath. He may act all weak and frail, but that old man's one tough cookie. But I guess you've got to be tough when you're representing a whole country, you know? Agent Lang, what do you want? Let's just hurry up and examine the statue already. But Chifu, what about causing an international incident? Quiet. I'll take the fall if I have to later. Wow. Okay. If only those people can touch it, why do we have it? It's just part of the crime scene, so no one was allowed to move it. Agent Lang, the hypothesis is mine, so if someone is to take responsibility, let it be me. Responsibility? If we're going to talk in such heavy terms, maybe I should let you. It'd be a real problem for my men if something were to happen to me. Alright then. Less talk and more investigating. If we want to know the truth, we can't stop here. Action must be taken. Agent Lang, I'd like to run a luminol... Oh my god. Chemiluminescence test on the statue. A luminol test? Ah, good thinking. If the statue is the murder weapon, then some of the victim's blood should be on it. Okay, let's get the forensics team in here. Ha! Looks like you hit the jackpot, Mr. Prosecutor. I guess this means that this is the real weapon that killed Damask too. Indeed. But I wouldn't celebrate yet if I were you. This doesn't let your friend off the hook. It doesn't prove that he didn't kill Damask too, so the charge remains. We are hardly done examining this statue, Agent Lang. Knowing that it is the real weapon, I believe further examination is required. Ha! You think so? Okay then, knock yourself out. We just like confiscate this and take it in for evidence? No? That will cause kind of an issue. Upon closer inspection, he really does look a lot like the Steel Samurai. Hey, maybe that's why they chose him to be the Goodwill Ambassador. I actually can't discredit that hypothesis. Or maybe the people at this embassy just really like the Steel Samurai. That's absolutely preposterous. I don't think it's that unlikely. You mustn't go around denouncing people's opinions. And yet, look at how easily you discredited mine. Not that I care why they chose him. What's this? With his sword drawn and ready, there is a certain aura of valour around him. Lang Zi says, those who hold a sword hold an equally strong will. It's said that the weapon one holds reflects the strength and will of one's character. I wonder if this was created as a show of the country's majesty. Oh, then what does Franzi's whip say about her character? It says that I'm ready to exact punishment on those who would break the law. Why are you glaring at me? I thought you understood that I'm not the killer. I believe in your case she wishes to exact punishment before anything else happens. And what do we have here? This dirty smudge. It looks like a handprint. What's a definitive bit of evidence like you doing under here? Looks like we've got some fingerprints to analyse. Worst case scenario, these prints belong to Larry. But it looks like it's too late for me to do anything about that now. But hang on, he's in the costume, right? Hey, forensics guy! I want results on these fingerprints ASAP, you hear me? Agent Lang, I have the analysis results, sir. Good. And? Sir, about the prints we lifted from the bottom of the statue. Well, you know the victim of the murder in the Babalese embassy? The prints belong to him, to Mr. Manny Cochin, sir. But that's... What's going on around here? No, that's impossible. Each Primodoc statue can only be handled by someone of that country. But by the very fact that Mr. Cochin's fingerprints are on this one, it leads me to only one conclusion. That this is the statue from the other country? Someone swapped them? Why? You'll point out the entire premise of the case is based on the faulty idea of the concept of extraterritoriality. That's a hard word to say. I don't actually know anything about it, so yeah, feel free to let me know about it. Yeah. This statue is actually Babao's Primodoc statue. Oh, okay. I thought I was going to have to put the dots together. Impossible. It can't be. Yeah. Larry never once set foot on Babylese soil, so he was free to go. However, this new piece of information only served to confuse us even further. The ringleader of a smuggling operation was killed with an alabastrian knife in Babao. And Damas too was killed on alabastrian soil with Babao's national treasure. And the mystery of the great thief Yatagarasu, who visited both countries. The pieces were there, but I had yet to see the big picture they were to form. Wow. There we go. That was a long segment, so I think we'll leave more of it for next time. Especially because my throat's getting sore. And I'm getting hungry, and where's the cat? She should be hungry for dinner. Ah, I called her and she came running. Cute. And cat. Hello, sweetie. How you doing? Hello, sweetie. How you doing? Aw. Yeah, I'll give you some dinner. Yeah, so thanks everyone for watching. That was pretty fun. We'll continue this next time. This is an interesting case, actually. You'll explain once we get further in the case and it comes up more. Okay, cool. Thanks, Counting. Yeah, because I don't actually know how embassies and stuff work, so I'd like to know. That would be very interesting. Anyway, I shall feed this cat. Okay. Yeah, I'm eager to see where this case goes. It's pretty interesting so far. Lots of different pieces to try and put together. Okay, thank you all very much for watching. I shall see you all next time. See yas!